So Kenshi recently got a pretty big update in the first time in what seems like forever, and it got a lot of positive feedback, so I thought I'd check it out. It mainly is a quality of life update, which wasn't enough to get me excited about a new playthrough, but I found this Star Wars mod that has a ton of positive feedback and so much content. After a few hours of playtesting, I can safely say if they release this as a DLC, I think people would be happy to pay $5 or maybe even $10 for it. It's that good. This should make for a nice follow-up to my Power World video, because similar to that game, you can catch certain people by throwing them in prisoner cages and talking to them. The rule is we can only recruit one of each type of unit. So for example, we can recruit one stormtrooper and one elite stormtrooper, but not two regular stormtroopers. Only some types of units can be recruited this way, and most bosses can't. And for the most part, I don't know which can or can't be recruited, so there's going to be a lot of wasted time trying to figure this whole thing out, and unlimited time we do not have, as we're going to attempt to explore and conquer everything on the map and research every tech in the next 100 days. Every 25 days we're going to increase difficulty till it's maxed out on day 75, and on that day I'm going to introduce this mod called Chaotic Raids, which should make defending our base quite the challenge. And we'll be doing that base defense challenge mainly in 3 different zones: the treacherous marshlands of the swamp, the sandy dunes of Flats Lagoon, and finally we settle in the battlefields of the Grey Shelf. It's in the Grey Shelf that we'll be creating this awesome base that resembles Helms from Lord of the Rings, and in our base location we have the ability to farm unlimited AI cores, arguably Kenshi's most valuable artifact. Once we've hopefully researched all of our tech and explored the entire map by day 100, we're going to put our base to the true test by adding on true Chaos Raids, which, like the Chaos Raids mod, should just be sending us more raiders. Our starting scenarios from this mod: Impossible Start, which essentially makes trading impossible. The only way to acquire stuff will be to loot, steal, or craft it ourselves. We also start with no arms or legs, and we're hostile with almost everyone. I say almost, as there are still 4 factions that will not attack us on sight. I believe the thugs still will. How did we get here, you may ask? Well, from a young age, Luke showed promise as a Jedi Padawan and has a bit more HP on his head, chest, and stomach. When he was younger, Luke was quite rebellious and always was disobeying his father. One time he even stole his dad's lightsaber, and as he was on his way to rob the store, his father tried to take the lightsaber back. Luke resisted and managed to get a clean hit on his father, which really pissed him off, and in a fit of rage he cut off Luke's limbs and pays a local tribe to keep him in prison for a while to teach him some discipline. Luke tries every option to get out of this cage, but nothing works as he has no arms. On a side note, I don't think this scenario is meant to be played as a human. If you start as a robot, the cannibals won't try to throw you in a cage. The mod creator also made it so you start with a repair kit in your inventory, which can be used to repair robot injuries. So yeah, I think that's the way you're supposed to start. Anyways, so after a few hours in his timeout cage, Luke's father decides to test him even further by sending a Jedi squad to save him. After slicing up the entire village, the Jedi orders his troopers to release Luke from prison, and they're just going to leave him on the ground to wiggle his way out of this predicament. I do gotta say, this part really took me by surprise. I thought we were definitely screwed here once we got in the cage. It was also very fortunate that the patrol who passed by was one of the few factions we're not at war with. I don't think a hostile faction would have let us out of the cage. Anyway, so Luke immediately goes into stealth mode, and because there's a bunch of people nearby in these prisoner cages, he gets a ton of skill for stealthing near them. One of the prisoners has some basic gear that Luke throws on. Nothing major that's really even worth noting, and I don't think he can use a sword without arms. Somehow he's able to still carry it though. Nearby is a few unlocked boxes that mainly has some food in them. Since Luke's thievery is so low, he gets this pop-up message that says he got caught stealing, but there's nobody nearby to catch him, so he's able to just continue looting till he steals all the meat. You may also notice we're not paused while looting, and that's another addition to the challenge, is we cannot pause while we're doing any actions. This rule is going to make stealing stuff really hard, because if there are people nearby to catch us stealing, we're not going to be able to just sit there while paused and continue looting everything. We're going to have to, react in real time. The only time I am allowed to pause is when I'm trying to explain a situation or something. These boots are good, but I don't know why I grabbed them, because Luke doesn't have any feet. And we're about to make our first major mistake, which is heading into Dead Cat. It turns out this is a cannibal town, and before we're even able to make it into town, we get ambushed by a cannibal patrol mongrel, and that's going to be our first save scum. New plan is to head south, which goes much better. We're able to get pretty far before getting devoured by a rancor, and that is going to be save scum number 2. To progress further south, it seems like you're pretty much required to go through this path, and thankfully some enemies distract rancor, allowing us to sneak past it. After the rancor, we're able to make it all the way down to mongrel with 0 save scums, believe it or not. There were a couple close calls where enemies just straight up stepped on Luke's head, but didn't see him because he now has 100 stealth. He does get seen and captured by this infected trooper, and I thought he was done for, but he is saved by the Dark Jedi faction. This faction was not on our list of friendlies at the start of the game, but encountering them does reveal that there is a 5th friendly faction. And I say friendly because they're not trying to kill us on sight, but they're not going to carry us to safety or anything. We're going to have to continue crawling our way to the town of Mongrel, and we do get there safely. We're not out of the woods just yet though, as Luke has to sneak past the guards, and near the main gate is a hideout belonging to the Thieves Guild, another faction we're not at war with, and Luke's going to chill here for the rest of the day. He did try to train up lockpicking, but with the whole no arm thing, he's not able to, so he's just going to hang out until the next night. Luke makes a break for it at almost 11 p.m., which you'd think would be total darkness, but no, and a nearby hostile mongrel guard is able to see Luke, or is he able to see him? The guard, I guess, thought he was seeing things as Luke's able to safely sneak back into the shadows, and this was another situation that really caught me off guard, you could say. I think that guard was a bit off, as I was almost certain he was going to raise the alarm and Luke would be done for. Under the cover of what now is total darkness, Luke's going to sneak away from the Thieves Guild tower over to the robotics trader. He does have a close call as some of the guards are carrying around lights, but after around 5 hours, he's able to make it. Near the entrance is these 3 chests with some high tier robotics, and because these are not locked, Luke's able to grab them with just his teeth, I guess. So before we try to loot this stuff, I will pause and we'll explain what we're trying to get here. The scout right leg is specialist and increase athletics but lower stealth. The stealth blade does not increase athletics by that much, but it doesn't lower stealth. And for a left leg, we could just steal this cybernetic, which isn't really anything special. We also got a steady arm, which would be good for lockpicking, and a low quality scout leg, which we don't want just because there's so many other options here. In that crate, there was a right scout leg, and this one there's a left one that is specialist. There's actually 2 left ones that are specialist and 2 left cybernetic legs. Then in the third crate, there's a stealth left leg, a cybernetic arm, which would not be that good for lockpicking, thief's arm, which would be really good for lockpicking right. We could combine that with the steady arm left for really good lockpicking. So now that we've explained all that, I will start dropping stuff from the inventory just in case we need to put it in the inventory and run basically before we can, you know, even put our legs on. All right, I think what we'll try to do for now is jack to scout right leg and the cybernetic left. We actually are able to do that without getting caught, which is amazing. I think if we put them on, we'll stand up, which could be bad. Yeah, we're standing up. That's okay, actually. Let's grab the thief right and the cybernetic left, just in case. We did get caught stealing there. We got an autosave. Got caught stealing, yeah. But we didn't actually get caught because we're stealthed. And the guy just doesn't seem to care. I don't know. We didn't get caught stealing, so... yeah, just throw this on. And then we don't want the cybernetic left. We actually want the scout left leg. We can grab that. Oh, it's almost daytime. Grab the steady arm. Stealth left, was it? Wait, let's pause for a second. Which leg was it that we wanted? We have scout right, cybernetic left, and scout left. So unpause. Put this one on. Oops. Put this one on there. So we're really fast, but we lose stealth. I don't know what our stealth is right now. It's only 53. Okay. Grab the skeleton repair kits too, maybe. Okay, we got one. Grab the stealth leg. We got caught stealing. Put this one back. Grab the stealth. We got caught stealing again, I think. Oops, grab the wrong one. Stealth leg. They don't want us to get the stealth leg. There we go. And then where's the other stealth leg? There we go. Stealth leg right is in here. Or left. We keep getting caught stealing, but they just don't care. Grab all the repair kits too, because we can use those to repair our limbs. And, okay, I think we're good. We do have room for one more limb. Oh, this guy is gonna raise the alarm. Okay, run away. Oh wow. Let's get whacked immediately on our arm. We're not even running that fast because we're encumbered. Ah. We're gonna get a shot at here. You might get owned. This is bad. Oh yeah. Why are we fighting passive? What? He actually turned around and tried to fight? Okay, crap. Can we just stealth? No, we definitely cannot. We run out this way, I wonder. There's actually a passage out of here going this way. I think we're home free. We're encumbered, but we can just put the legs on the ground. And oh yeah, there we go. We're running at 38 miles per hour. Are we still getting chased? Crap, there's no way out here. Is there? Stealth. No, can't. We gotta run through them. Oh, this might be a save scum. We're gonna have to run through these guys shooting at us. Oh man. Yeah, there's no way out this way. I didn't know that. We're gonna have to go through the main gate, which is very bad. Right leg's busted up too. Still running at 29 though. They're hitting the arm. Ouchie. Come on, Luke, you can do it. Run away. We get hit in the chest really bad. Oh jeez. I think we're home free though. Luke's able to repair up his arms and legs with the repair kits, and after searching for a little while, he finds a standard med kit on this clone. He's unfortunately not able to bandage in peace as some pesky zombies chase him off. Later that night, we head back into town to grab the other robotic limbs. We're gonna drop a bunch of stuff outside, and Luke's gonna take off one of his legs to get his stealth back up to 100. He's gonna try again to sneak past the guards, which was looking pretty easy until this guy shows up. Well, he's gonna run away. Okay, very nice. Keep it moving. And already we made past the guards. Once we get in here a little bit, we'll put the leg back on, making it so we can walk, or run rather. Just need to get over here to our body parts. There's 3 of them that we need to grab. I forgot about the steady arm. You have space for it though. And now we'll put on the stealth leg on both legs. Now we have 98 stealth, so we should be able to just walk past the guards if we want to. With his new legs, Luke is now on a mission to meet up with the famous Ahsoka Tano, who is interestingly enough stationed at a town called the Hub. If you're not familiar with the lore on this girl, then I'll let Obi-Wan explain.
Did I ever tell you about Ahsoka Tano? She was your father's exotic teenage alien apprentice, a fine piece of jailbait from a more civilized age. She had the tightest body and the perkiest little breasts in the galaxy. Barely legal in most systems. Anakin and I used to double team her at the end of every successful campaign.
Along the way, Luke picks up a dead guy, which helps to train strength, and he was already carrying the extra robotic limbs, so he was getting a ton of strength experience. He makes it to the Hub, and this is a town we're going to be spending a lot of time in, so we might as well just go over the layout. It's a friendly-ish town that's guarded by stormtroopers and a Jedi, and it's got a bar where normally you can recruit people and buy food, a clothes shop where you can buy armor, a Thieves Guild tower where normally you can join the Thieves Guild if you have enough money, and a Rebel recruitment center where if you have enough money, normally you can join the Galactic Republic, but we unfortunately cannot spend money on this run. This town is by no means a peaceful town. Immediately upon entering, Luke finds an unconscious bounty hunter who he's able to loot for a pretty long-range laser rifle and Spec Ops backpack, which is great because it doesn't lower stats while using it like most backpacks. The guy's equipment overall sucks because it lowers stealth effect, so Luke's not going to be using it. We're instead going to give it over to Ahsoka Tano, who's waiting for us in the bar. In my playtesting, I checked around 5 towns, and she's by far the best recruitable character I came across, and conveniently she joins for free, which is great because we wouldn't be able to pay her anyways. Her skin color is randomly generated, and it looks a bit weird if it's not fully blue, so we're going to change that. I mean, we're going to wash off all of her makeup. Oh, and the name she was using was just a cover name. She's definitely Ahsoka Tano. Her race being a Twilight Padawan gives her more HP on her body parts, and plus 20% to her defense, which is a whopping 60. You can see her combat stats are all really high. She's really good with the lightsaber, and she has a decent amount of starting attributes. She's definitely going to make for a good fighter. She started naked with the lightsaber, and I think these things have some hidden stats because their cutting and blunt damage doesn't seem that high, but lightsabers do hit really hard. I didn't go over the bounty hunter's other equipment, but I'll quickly mouse over it if anyone's interested. It's really not too crazy good. The boots are okay for boots, I guess. In the evening, attacking, a squad of Mandalorians mounts an attack on the base. They're no match for the Jedi, and he takes them all out. Among the group was a Mandalorian super commando who has another Spec Ops pack, which we'll be giving over to Ahsoka, and he also has a Vibro Knuckler, which increases attack damage, combat speed, and some other nice melee stats. All of his gear is masterwork, and it's really good more for a ranged person because like the helmet gives perception, and the stuff is really tanky. 68 range damage resist for a helmet's really good. It also gives a bunch of cut and blunt resist with full coverage to the head. The chest piece also gives good coverage to a lot of body parts, and essentially the way coverage works is it's a chance to block an attack to that body part, and the amount of damage it can block is based on how much resist it has, which as you can see, this does have a lot of resist. The boots don't have that much coverage, but that's pretty normal for boots, I think. They are insanely tanky though, as are these Mandalorian leg plates, and the bodysuit is also really tanky, and the bodysuit actually increases stealth unlike the rest of the armor. So we'll give the bodysuit over to Luke and maybe the helmet. The equipment's pretty heavy and I want Luke to travel light, so I'm going to give it all over to Ahsoka for now. And because she's wearing such heavy equipment and she's carrying around the super commando, she's going to be leveling up her strength over time, and essentially I'm just going to have her walk around the hub pretty much full time while Luke's out doing stuff, at least for now. As night fell, Luke snuck into the Shek town of Squin, and our first obstacle is getting past these guards, with the light situation being the way it is, which we were able to sneak past the lights. Now we can sneak past these guards probably. Ooh, that one actually almost saw us. These are actually almost seeing us even though there's no light. Now we gotta pick this lock, although we can't. We're not skilled enough. I want to get in the general shop for building materials. We can try the bar. It's pretty well lit in here though. Like we're not even in here during the night. Go over here to the shadows. There we go. I'm not sure if there's anyone that we can actually talk to. Most of the people that normally you can recruit, I believe, will be hostile. We can actually talk to the pacifier to smooth things over with some faction for 50k, but we never will have 50k. And there is something we can open over here. Pick that lock if you don't mind me. There's a shop guard in here. Probably should move a little bit closer to the crates. And there's building materials right here, conveniently placed, which is perfect. We're gonna need a lot of these to set up our base. Could also just start stealing stuff and leveling up our thievery. We're at 46 thievery. We jacked this. Oops, should have finished that. Although I guess you don't lose progress for picking the lock. And we do pick it, very nice. Really quickly before we open that, we can see that thievery is up to 13%. They'd pause there for a second so we could just check that out. But yeah, let's see, can we steal this stuff? Bunch of food in here. 88% chance. I don't really want to risk it. I can't pick that. I can try to just jack everything though. Not that we need any of this stuff necessarily, just put it on the ground again. And there's a safe over here and we don't have the skill for it. There's nothing else really in here that we need, so we're just gonna try to make a run for it. And we are able to get out without being seen. Fantastic. And this is a travel gear shop we can try to pick into. We don't really need to pick into travel gear as much as we need building materials, but there could be building materials in here actually. While Luke's doing that, I'm going to make sure I'm microing Ahsoka Tano, essentially just having her go up to the top of the Thieves Tower and then walking her all the way over to the bar. It's giving us max amount of distance, although there's a group of Mandalorians attacking, so we're actually going to chill for now. And there's some Revanchists here. The Revanchists are hostile with Mandalorians. These guys have really good equipment. If one of them gets taken out, then we'd be really happy about that. So I would like some Revanchist gear. Checked all their HPs and they're all pretty healthy though. So yeah, the Mandalorians lose again. Do wonder if there's any Mandalorian super commandos out here, so we could get another one of those belts and good armor. There is actually a Mandalorian super commando knocked out, but I'm gonna have to micro Luke because he did finally lockpick his way in. And there is a guard still up, which is weird because the door was locked. Like, why is there a guard, you know? You can check these boxes though. And there's a guard moving around. He's gonna go upstairs, very nice. The R5 unit might see us, but I don't think it can fight. The guy's back. Okay. Let's see, what do we want? So building materials. Then behind the shop counter, it's gonna be a safe that we cannot pick, so we're not even gonna worry about that. And I think we can just get in here and grab the building materials. I don't know why you went that way. That was a little bit silly. He took like kind of a scenic route there. We're out of there, and it's getting to be light, so I don't even know if it's worth trying to pick the general shop. I think maybe we just slap on the scout legs and dip out of here. Maybe we'll do this while unpaused. And wait, where did I put the other leg? I just dropped it. Let's just make a run for it. Recovered a little bit, but not that much. And yeah, the Shek guards don't have guns, I think, so we can just run. Luke makes it back to the hub, and there's a lot going on over here. A wandering dark Jedi is downed, and I'm not sure where that Mandalorian super commando is. He was unconscious over here somewhere, and then he got back up. He started duking it out with the guards, and I found the other super commando. He's currently playing dead, and I wonder if I can pick him up. Oh, I actually can. Nice. So we can pick him up and jack his vibro knuckler is the main thing. Give that over to Luke. So he's now got it. And then we want to jack all the equipment. And this is a high grade light carbine, very nice. It's too bad it's not specialist like his other gear. This weapon's much shorter range and does less damage than our laser rifle, but it attacks what seems like twice as quick. And maybe since it attacks quicker, we can level up range weapons with it quicker. I'm not really sure. Either way, Luke continued his journey to look for building supplies, and he ran across this group of Mandalorians which had a Mandalorian Sith as their leader. The Siths carry really powerful lightsabers, and I was thinking maybe we could aggro them towards the Shek town and the guards could take care of them for us. And I had Luke try to aggro as many guards as he could, and his left arm got completely obliterated in this process. He was wearing the heavy Mandalorian gear, but that did not stop whatever these Sheks are using. After this whole thing, he was able to repair up the arm to pretty much full, but it now does have a little bit of permanent damage on it that we have to fix at a repair bed. Later that night, Luke is able to sneak back into the town, and there's no guards on this side. I do think the guards will respawn eventually, but tonight we had a really easy time getting in. I tried to pick into the general goods trader, but it says we don't have enough skill, even though it said there was a 4% chance. So I'm just gonna have Luke pick into this residential building, and it took him actually a few hours to get in, but
he's in, dude. He's in.
At 3 a.m. So we only have like an hour to loot. And this guard actually almost saw us there. Let's see what's inside here. We need building material, which there is one. And we also need iron plates, actually more so than building materials right now. We can check all the crates. I'm guessing we're not going to find any in here though. There was nothing else in the house that we really needed. And by the time we were done with this, it was almost daytime, so we didn't have time to loot the general goods shop. Luke dropped off the building supplies back at base, and for most of the day he trekked south through this swamp down to this flooded crystal cave. There was quite a few arachne stalkers patrolling outside, and a lot of them have bionic legs and they can run you down pretty good, but they're pretty low quality bionics, so Luke was able to just outrun them. And inside the cave there's these crystals, and this one is interesting. It gives protection. It gives a good amount of resist to a lot of body parts, but since the coverage is so low, there's a pretty low chance it's actually going to do anything. It does give some flat bonuses to melee attack and defense though, and perception. This crystal is more of an offensive one, and this one's good for a range user because it gives increased dex and perception, whereas the vibro knuckle might be better for melee. I'm not sure. This next crystal we looted has a pretty crappy one, and then a balanced one, which isn't actually as good as the light force crystal. I think the light force is the best one for a damage dealer. In the last large crystal formation, we did find another light force crystal, so that'll be good for another range user. The large crystal formations were the larger ones, and then you can loot the smaller ones as well. And they can have these crystals in them, which I guess are actually useless. As we're leaving, I'm hearing a lightsaber noise. It's a little bit scary. There's an arachne weaver outside. You gotta kind of weave around these dudes. Luke makes it back to town by 1 a.m. and hands off all the crystals to Ahsoka, and he's able to make it back into the Shek town by 2:30. There's no light on this side for some reason today, so we're able to sneak past that guard. And we'll try to pick this lock, which we can now do. On a side note, I did give Luke this cybernetic arm for his trek through the swamp because it's tankier, and his lock picking skill is reduced right now. Versus with the steady arm, it doesn't increase lock picking, but it doesn't lower it. As I was microing Ahsoka to move around at the base, I guess Luke made it in, and we're gonna see if we can loot some iron plates. We should just go through all the crates, and then there we go. Building material. Another building material. Where's the iron plates though? So we need more, so take the hacksaw. I think you can saw into safes with these. Is there a safe back here? Yeah, there is. Oh, there's a dude here. We use tools in the safe. No, we can't. The guy's turning around. Very nice. There's a building supplies up here, or building material. I was looking for building supplies. Oops. Well, we can't pick the main safe, but there is a secure wooden chest that we can pick. It's 5 a.m., so it's going to be daytime. Well, he's doing a lot of fails here. I think while he's failing, I'm just going to get ready to strap on his limbs. They're going to make him really quick, and he's going to have to just run out of here and probably take some damage. There we go. Building materials and a lot of copper alloy. We want the schematics. We don't care about the copper alloy because it's too heavy, right? And it's not that heavy. 2 kg per. We should put these on the ground. I wonder if it would keep them on the ground next time we come. I don't think the shopkeeper will like pick it back up. Alright, it's 6 a.m. The shop is officially open. So we are officially getting the heck out of there. Luke makes it back to our base, and we now have enough building materials to make a small shack, which we want to put as close to the hub as we can. And there's a trick to building closer to towns than you should be able to. When the shack is blue, that means we're building too close to town. If we say we want to build our shack here and confirm, that is going to officially set up our outpost on top of that shack, which allows us to build in a radius around the outpost. And so we can actually build a bit closer to the town. We'll also face the small shack towards the town, so we'll be able to sprint back into the town at a moment's notice. For 3 more building materials, we built a research desk, and we're now researching storage boxes, so we have a place to store stuff that's not on Ahsoka's back. We could research the ability to make iron plates ourselves or buff our stone mining ability, but for now we're going to be finding all that stuff from exploring. We mainly want to get up to tech level 2, which requires small house, and that's 2 schematics. Then tech level 2 is 6 schematics, and we only have 4 left. We need to get up to tech level 3 in order to make prisoner cages, so we can try to recruit that Mandalorian. Luke did research for the rest of the day, and for our last building material, he built storage boxes, so we now have a place to store our loot. At night, we headed over to the Hive Village. We're gonna see if there's anything in here that we can steal. This place is pretty well lit, though. I'm guessing it's gonna be pretty hard to steal from... Whoa. Some iron plates. 86% chance we got it. If we do get caught, it's not the worst thing. I think we can outrun these guys. Lantern of Radiance is interesting. And do we have a 100% chance to steal that? No, we didn't. I probably shouldn't have stolen that. We don't really need that. We need iron plates. 95% chance. Giggle dust. I think that's just a meme. I don't think it actually does anything. We can pick this metal chest. Oh, this guy actually almost sees us. And again, I forgot to give him the better arm, so his lock picking is lowered. But it is up to 16 now. It's not good enough to break open the safe though, apparently. Or I spoke too soon. We actually got it right as I said that. It's kind of funny. There's nothing in here that we really need as far as the items. And we don't really need these blueprints either, so it's kind of a waste of time. On this crate, there is another iron plate though. Can we yoink it? Yes, we can. We got some schematics in here. I would like to get all those schematics. There's some more schematics in this barrel back here. There's iron plates and schematics in this barrel. 91% chance to steal. Let's just yoink as many as we can. We got them all. We should also put the faster legs on, I think, because I don't think we need increased stealth. If we get caught, then we just need to dip out of here. And let's keep yoinking. 88% chance. A 93% chance in this barrel. Yeah, so far so good. 90% chance to pick this secure wooden chest. Inside there's nothing. Iron plates in this box though. Wow, we're getting really lucky with that. And more iron plates. 84% chance. Out of trading range. I thought we got caught there. Whoa, what are you doing? Did not mean for you to go there. Okay, let's try this again. Can you move like there? There you go. Grab. Wow, we didn't get caught. Could just leave. We have so many iron plates. Even with his unstealthy legs equipped, Luke was able to sneak out of there. And we now have enough schematics to get to tech level 2. Tech level 3 is not going to be so easy though. We need 10 schematics plus a tier 2 research bench, which we can almost make for 10 iron plates. We need 4 more, but then we need to place that in a building. And since it's pretty big, we have to make a storm house for that, which is 16 building materials. To get more of those, Luke headed back down to the swamp, this ruins, which has schematics, building materials, and iron plates. If we go further in, there is more of all that stuff. Not only was there quite a few iron plates and building materials, there was also some tools. Luke may need these as he heads back into the Shek town of Squin tonight. I think all the crates in the chests were populated their goods, and unfortunately they only had 1 building material, but a lot of iron plates and 4 schematics. And that's pretty much all that's going to help us right now. The copper alloy plates are going to be used for later, and same with the fabric and the electrical components. I did have Luke just grab it all though, because not only are we going to need it later, it is helpful helping him level up his strength a bit without carrying someone. You don't get that much strength XP though. We're only getting 7%, which is not great. Ahsoka's been getting 50 for a while, and she's actually only getting 43% now, which is still a lot, but that is because her strength is so high. She's up to a whopping 51 strength, so we've gotten 21 strength from having her just run around the hub full time. I did also find a trick you can do, similar to games like Warcraft 3, where you can shift right click to queue up actions, and essentially you just hold shift and right click between 2 points a bunch, like I don't know, 15 times, and she'll walk back and forth between those points. It does feel kind of buggy though. To get a lot of building materials, there's these wandering hive traders, and we're gonna search for one of those back at the hive village. There was a group of Mandalorians that wandered into the hive village, and they're absolutely annihilating the hive here. I just let them duke it out for quite a while and came back quite a few hours later, and the Mandalorian Super Commando is still up and duking it out with the hive. We didn't really find anything during the day, but during the night we head back into their trader hut and we find a whopping 7 building materials, 6 iron plates, and 12 schematics. There was like 3 secure crates and 1 safe that we were able to pick into, and Luke's now up to 25 lock picking. To get his lock picking up to 29, Luke picks into 3 lock boxes in a clothing supply shop. He does this during the next morning and there's nobody there. They might have all gotten killed in a fight. This clothing supplier sucks and has really low quality stuff, but they did have a bunch of blueprints so we can make this equipment ourselves once we increase our tech level. A few hours later we got a message that our outpost is under attack, and the clones just annihilated this outpost raid. Their main leader guy is downed over here for 157 seconds. Luke's gonna come in here and loot all his stuff. Specialist grade chest piece. If we compare it to the Mandalorian one, the Mandalorian one's just way better in pretty much every respect. The Mandalorian one is just heavier, I guess. The rest of his gear for the most part is lighter, but it's way worse and only high quality. His gun does have long range and decent damage for a shoddy grade weapon. It's pretty comparable to Luke's laser rifle. 9 hours later, the hub's under attack yet again, this time by a squad with 2 Mandalorian Siths in it. The Mandalorians are just gonna mop that up. And there's also a Jedi Master over there, and I think the guy's stuck or something. The squad of Mandalorians starts leaving, but the Sith is kind of stuck in the back, and I'm able to aggro him towards the Jedi, and he's now duking it out with the Jedi, and Luke is sniping at him with his laser rifle. And now the guy is getting owned by these clones, which is fantastic. If we could take this guy out for his gear, or possibly even recruit him, that'd be amazing. He took out the other guys, and he's now shooting at Luke. It's not good. He did bandage up his injuries, but 2 of his legs are pretty busted, and so we probably can just kite him around. For the rest of the night, Luke dukes it out with the Mandalorian, and I find out the Mandalorian's gun's pretty bad. Like, it's not really able to pierce Luke's armor too well, but every time Luke gets hit, we are getting toughness, even if it's not piercing his armor. And Luke gets up to 30 toughness off of this. I don't know what his toughness was before, but I don't think it was that high. In Kenshi, when you lose the use of your right arm, you can no longer use any weapons. I guess everyone in Kenshi is right-handed, and even though the Sith's lightsaber is a one-handed weapon, he's not able to use it, so we're able to have Ahsoka safely tank him while Luke shoots at both of them. I do think Ahsoka tanks some stray bullets. Eventually the Sith goes down to blood loss when he gets below 0, and he carries a Masterwork lightsaber which has much higher cutting and blunt damage than Ahsoka's crappy prototype lightsaber, and for some reason it's extremely heavy. The Masterwork one's nearly triple the weight. All of his gear's Masterwork, just like the Commando's gear, except for his pistol. This thing really sucks. I think higher tier Mandalorians definitely should be using better range weapons. Over the next 5 days, we got kind of this stay-at-home mother and working father dynamic going on between Luke and Ahsoka. At night, Luke goes to the Shek town to steal from them, and during the day he steals from the Hive. The Hive is much easier to steal from because he's able to not only get in there in broad daylight, there's no gate guards or anything. Even if he is caught in the act of stealing, they don't have any guns, so Luke's just able to outrun them. He uses those materials to make a storm house, a research bench tier 2, then upgrades that research bench to tier 3 and builds a power supply for it. Once this is all done, he can finally start researching imprisonment so we can try to recruit these Mandalorians. Ahsoka is fulfilling the stay-at-home mom role by watching over the Mandalorians and preventing them from escaping. The Sith is especially difficult to watch over because they heal quite quickly, and so every few hours Ahsoka's got to beat them down again. The reason I had Ahsoka carry the Commando and not the Sith is because as we beat them down, their strength is temporarily lowered, and it takes a lot of punishment to lower the Sith strength, and even when they have 4 less strength than Ahsoka, they they still won't talk. I thought this meant we needed to lower his strength even more, and maybe it did, but one thing I forgot is you can't talk to prisoners if they have weapons on them. I finally realized this after beating on the Sith for a few more days, and after disarming the Sith, he's finally willing to talk to us. As for the dialogue, I already knew which options to choose from a previous run, and all the Mandalorians do have pretty similar dialogue. If you choose the correct options, you learn more about the Mandalorians and their values, but above all, money talks, and they wanted 20k, which obviously we don't have. I'd like to think that maybe we promised them they can earn money while fighting for us, because obviously we didn't have the 20k to pay them like it says we did. I also did tests to make sure our money supply isn't glitched or something, and no, we cannot buy anything, and we have no dialogue options allowing us to join the Galactic Republic or the Thieves Guild. So yeah, the Sith joins us and the Commandos soon after. This is all done by day 23, 2 days before the game difficulty is about to dramatically increase. With our last day before things are going to get harder, we're going to dismantle most of the base. I don't think we get all the materials back from doing this, but we get a lot. We load everything up and head over to the hive to give them one last visit, and the Sith is able to just annihilate any hive he comes across. I don't know if we killed the traitor here. I couldn't find him, but we end up looting the hut for a good amount of iron plates. We then head south into the swamp and run across a pretty massive battle between the CIS separatists and the Galactic Republic. Among the people knocked out were this guy who is named, so I don't think we can recruit him, but then this Dark Jedi Initiate might be recruitable. Guy doesn't have that high of stats, but he has really high HP, and there's also an Imperial agent that we might be able to recruit, so we'll yoink all those guys. We run into another Dark Adept, and this guy does not have a name, so he might be more recruitable. For that reason, we're going to ditch our Dark Adepts, but first we're going to take his gear, and we'll really quickly go over it. The Jedi robe gives a decent amount of protection, and it's really light. The hood as well is also really light, gives okay protection, but not much coverage, only 50%, so 50% chance it does nothing. The legs are also really light, but again, not much protection, and same story with the shirt. And then as for the lightsaber, it's pretty low quality. I think we'll give the lightsaber over to the Super Commando, and then all the armor we'll give over to Luke. The Sith takes the guy out pretty easily, and we're going to try to recruit him at our new base location. To the east and a bit north of the Lost Library outpost, there's a pretty good spot for an outpost, so we're going to set up a base there. It's currently nighttime, but in the morning we'll check it out. I already looted the Imperial agents. They had a pretty crappy range weapon. The thing is like no damage or range, and it doesn't fire that quick. They also had a knife, which pretty much sucks, and some really crappy armor. As for the Dark Jedi Initiate, they have another lightsaber that's worse than Ahsoka's. This fog mask, which absorbs a crazy amount of range damage but doesn't have 100% coverage, so there's a 30% chance that the attack just pierces through it, which isn't great. The robe has the same stats as Luke's robe, the one we checked out earlier. The Jedi boots are pretty good though. They increase movement speed. The Mandalorian ones are a bit tankier, but they don't give increased movement speed. And then we also got the Dark Adept, which has a slightly better lightsaber, though worse than Ahsoka's. A black hood, which again only has 50% coverage. Again, he has another robe, and high grade boots this time, and a skirt, which gives like no protection, but it only weighs 1 kg, and a revealing top. I wonder if this is a girl. We can open dialogue with the Dark Jedi Initiate, and I'm not sure which option to choose here. We'll ask them to tell them about themselves, and then we only have one dialogue option here, so we'll choose that. It says he will follow a strong leader such as ourselves. Very well, let's remove those stun cuffs, I guess. Finally, and okay, they'll join us. Very nice. Not sure if this was the one that had the revealing top, but it is a female, and they have 200 HP. They are a Kathunian Jedi Padawan. As for the Initiate stats, they're not great. We're definitely gonna have to do some training with them. They do have 23 toughness already though, which is pretty good. The main thing we care about is the fact that they have so much HP, so they're gonna be a good fighter. I also just realized I don't think I went over the Super Commando stats, which are all really high. 90 perception, 82 range weapons, and 93 precision shooting, so they're really accurate. I will say the Super Commando does only have 100 HP, so we might end up giving him a range weapon versus the Sith, who has way more. And though the Sith is actually better at ranged, since he's so tanky, we're probably going to continue having him do melee. Not long after, we're able to talk to the Adept. We're going to choose the first option. We want to get to know them more. They say they're aspiring to become a Sith Lord. We only have one dialogue option here. They say they will follow us. We'll get them out of there. Finally, and voila. We have a Dark Adept and a Dark Initiate now. This person's a Rataki Jedi Padawan, and she is thick, if you ask me. We could even use the force to make her a bit thicker. We'll use the light side of the force here and the dark side of the force here. The adept is an improved version of the initiate in every way. They have the same HP, but way more to combat stats. They will make for another exceptional melee fighter with that 47 toughness and their increased HP. We are now on day 25, so I did increase the difficulty and I increased town attacks frequency up to high, which I guess the old default was high, even though it started us as normal as our baseline. We could also change dismemberment to frequent. It was set to rare by default, but essentially with this new setting, if a limb goes below 100, it's lost, versus if dismemberment's on a frequent, an attack has to hit a limb below 100. So yeah, if someone has a really bad injury, we got to make sure to bandage it up ASAP, or they could lose their limb. During the nighttime, I sent Luke back to the shack town by himself to grab more building supplies and iron plates, and he did get 6 iron plates for building materials. And he does not have enough lockpicking to be able to lockpick into this safe, although it is 6 a.m. when he got in. Perfect time. Let's see, like all this stuff. And these guys are coming in. It's a herd of Garu coming in here. What the heck are they doing here? I don't think they're here to shop. Probably one of the weirder things I've ever seen in this game, if I'm being completely honest. And we just got hit by something. I'm not sure what. We're going to have Luke try to run out of here. Put the leg on and run. I just threw the leg on the ground, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Come back and grab it and then run. Now that it's daytime, I can show you guys what we got going on at the base. So in the spot we're in, there's 2 small copper nodes and 3 iron nodes. And our stone mine is 50% efficiency, which was the highest I could find pretty much anywhere in the swamp. If we try to put the stone mine on land, you can see it's only 25% efficiency. And then if we drag it around, you can see the efficiency changes for the worse for the most part. But then if we go this way, we get way better efficiency for some reason. And I don't know why it's not showing us 50% right here. For some reason, if you rotate it, the efficiency changes. And there we go, we got up to 50. And then yeah, if we go over this way, you can see the efficiency goes down, and there is more efficiency actually this way. Get up to like 41-ish, which isn't bad. That's on level ground as well. That probably would be not a bad place for it. I do think if someone's working the stone mine full time, there's not much drawback to it being in the water. The only negative is when you have to actually transport the stone, then the person has to swim out there. But they don't have to bring it that far. I built our structure factory, which uses stone to make building materials, right next to it. For some reason in this mod, this thing is absolutely massive. We now have a way to make building materials, but we need people to work those facilities, and we don't really want our fighters to do that. So we'll go out and do a little exploring. But before we do, Luke almost makes it back from the shack town when he runs into a bit of a predicament. There was 4 of these initiates chasing him, which I think we've already recruited our initiate, so we can't recruit them. But then there's also this rancor that just popped out of nowhere. Well, seemingly popped out of nowhere. I don't think rancors really can pop out of nowhere, truly, because they are just too big to be able to do that kind of maneuver. We'll have the super commandos snipe at it for a while. And I wonder if the Sith could tank it. It is kind of dangerous to try this though, because if we do fail, the Rancor does eat its opponents. 188 damage from the Sith, and we're hitting it pretty good. Its chest is down to 458. It seems to be not able to hit the Sith as well. There we go, it's starting to attack. The Sith has not gotten hit yet though. I'm not sure what's going on here. It seems to be kind of bugged out or something. I kind of want to let it hit the Sith a couple times just to see what happens, but yeah, let's just finish it. For killing it, we get quite a bit of bones, some skin, and some Rancor claws. We come across this Band of Bones Shek group that got wiped out by these blood spiders, I guess. And after the Sith wipes them all out, we're able to capture a Band of Bones fighter and a Band of Bones marksman, which may or may not choose to join us. We got a massive group of CIS separatists, a lot of these battle droid swamps, and they're shooting at us while we're trying to mine. This is a very annoying situation. We definitely need to get walls up ASAP, because yeah, if we want to charge them, we have to walk through this swamp. And the Sith actually took quite a bit of damage, despite his armor blocking most of these guys' crappy projectiles. We're kind of in an awkward spot right now because we need the Sith to watch over the base, but we also do need to go out and recruit people. And speaking of recruitment, we've had the Imperial agent here for a while, but there's never been an option to talk to him. We might have to starve him out before he'll talk to us. I'm not really sure. The Red Saber as well. We just picked this guy up randomly. He's still in recovery coma. But then the Band of Bones marksman will instantly talk to us. The guy's pretty hungry as well, so maybe that's why. They made me fight work. Just wants to be free. I'll let you go. Will you join our cause? Or number 2, I feel like we should learn his story. No, It's not going to tell us nothing. We send out the super commando to aggressively hire more people, and as he's doing that, somebody came by and let out our prisoners, and just out of curiosity I wanted to go back and see who it was, so I loaded a previous autosave. I couldn't figure out who it was, but when I loaded back into our game, the position of these swamp tree things had changed, and now one is kind of intersecting with our prisoner cages. So that's how you'll know I've save scummed it all, if we have a giant tree sticking through our roof. As the super commando and Luke were scouting around looking for people to hire, we found this Trader Guild caravan that has a pack beast in it, and this thing might be absolutely loaded. The caravan was about to walk into a group of Galactic Republic, and I thought maybe Galactic Republic wouldn't like if we attacked the caravan, and there was some action going on over there, so the caravan went to help out. Let's just grab this pack beast and dip if we can. And that is a lot of stuff that we need. Food, building materials, iron plates. We found this Band of Bones camp, which has Band of Bones fighters. Ventura the Fearless is someone that might join us. Probably don't want to have the Sith killer, I would say, so maybe don't use a lightsaber. We'll get the super commando in here to help out. I don't think he'll kill anyone with that puny lightsaber. Okay, Tora goes down. We'll have the super commando pick her up. And then we need to grab a Band of Bones marksman, which is this dude, and the Band of Bones fighter, which is this dude. As we're heading back, we run into this HK-50 robot, and we'll send someone out here to grab this thing as well to see if it's recruitable. Back at base, we got a raid, and crap, they made it in. Oh no. They're gonna let the prisoners out, or what are they gonna do? It says they're looting our food. Oh, they're yoinking our stuff. Stone Rat Visit was defeated on the way to your outpost. I don't think it was defeated on the way. I think it definitely made it to the outpost. Another Jedi is trying to liberate prisoners, and I think we're strong enough to be able to take this guy on, even though he does have really high stats. Okay, this is an absolute mess. Everyone is just getting owned. Luke is owned really bad, actually. Ahsoka goes down. Stomach's at -70. The Initiate's stomach is -140. Holy. Let me finally take him out. Jeez. Let's unequip his stuff. Take it off. And start banishing people. We made some beds, which increase healing rate, and we're mainly going to have the Mandalorian Sith rest off his injuries. We need to get that arm back up to full. Then the Super Commando is also pretty banged up, so we'll let him rest. I gave the Jedi's lightsaber to him, which is a two-handed lightsaber, although it doesn't look like it's better than the one-hander, aside from the fact that it gives more defense. It's actually worse against robots, humans, and animals, but I'm guessing there's some special thing with it, like maybe it hits twice or something. Or maybe it does big AoE, because we were getting mowed down by that dude. As for the armor, it's Jedi Master Armor, and it's definitely better than the regular Jedi stuff, like it gives more skills. And the cloak actually gives coverage to the legs as well, and the Mandalorian chest piece does not. It does still give way less protection than the Mandalorian armor. He's also got a Jedi Master Hood, which again is only 50% coverage. It's pretty trash. The leggings increase athletics, which is nice for Luke if we want to have him go around and scout. We probably should give those to him, and maybe just give him the cloak as well to protect his legs, because he can't wear boots. And then there's also the Jedi Master boots, which increase stealth but do lower athletics. Over the next few days, we recruit 4 new fighters. The Band of Bros just want food, and if we have that food in our inventory, they will join. It's the same story with this Red Saber. We found her roaming the swamp with the Red Saber squad. These are pretty common. And then that robot, for some reason, wants food as well, even though I don't think he eats. We got a lot of food from that trade caravan, plus Luke went back to the Shek town and stole a bunch of food from their bar. There's a ton of food in a couple of the storage chests that he was easily able to lockpick into. Both the Band of Bros have pretty similar stats. The fighter is better in melee, and the marksman's better with ranged weapons, but they both do have a good amount of turrets and precision shooting, so I think we'll probably have them both just man turrets. I will say the fighter has really low perception, which does affect his accuracy, but he can level that up as he's using turrets. The Red Saber does get bonuses to her melee and armor crafting, so we'll probably just have her be our crafter. And then the HK-50, I guess, was an assassin droid. He's got really high thievery stats, but we already have Luke for that stuff. He does have really high perception and range stats, and a lot of HP, so you'd think he'd make for a good mid-range gunner, but he can only wear armor and pants. He can't wear a headpiece, a shirt, or boots, so we should probably give him a sniper rifle and keep him really far back. To get more materials for the base, Luke goes back to the Hive Village. Unfortunately, I guess we killed their shopkeeper because these goods are not replenishing. Oopsies. Luke does manage to lure a few of these pack beasts away from a Hive trader trader that was visiting, and one of them is pretty loaded with food, medical supplies, and some building materials. A much more convenient way to get materials is by stealing them from the nearby town of Shark. Each night he's able to get around 10 building materials and iron plates, plus some blueprints and a ton of regular schematics. Sometimes they even have an advanced schematic, and we're going to need a ton of these later. Back at base, we're visited by a droid trader wanting to sell us some droids, and since we can't afford to pay for them, we're going to try to take them by force. Alright, so we got Luke up here with his advanced laser rifle, the Band of Bones marksman with his Tusken sniper, and I think they might be able to shoot through our gate, and oh, we got a raid coming. We also got the HK-50 robot with his E5 carbine, and the Mandalorian Super Commando with another E5 carbine, pretty short range weapons, and we're going to say what's up to these guys in a non-friendly way. Maybe on passive. Oh, let's focus on passive. This guy is not on passive. I don't think he has ammo though. Maybe he does have ammo. Not sure why the robot's not fighting. Super Commando's meleeing. I'm fine with that. Why is the robot not shooting? I don't get that. Maybe he refuses to shoot his own brethren. I'll have to manually command him, I guess. I'm fine with. And then we got a raid too. Very nice. It's just the red sabers, which are pretty trash. They have like basically no equipment, and they have low stats. We deal with the red saber raid pretty easily, and I try to recruit some of the droids, but I didn't know that you could recruit them if you pass a series of pretty complicated dialogue options, which I figure out a bit later. So no droids for now, unfortunately. We tracked down Tora the Fearless, who escaped our prison cells earlier, and it turns out she has no dialogue to join us, so she's gonna die of starvation in our prisoner cages. We then sent Luke the Commando north of that to this unknown HQ. Inside is the Creedle Gang, which looks pretty banged up. The Creedle Gang boss is dead. They don't appear to be hostile, but we're just gonna start taking them out. And I thought there was gonna be more. There was last time I did this. And there we go, the Lord of the Creedles. This guy's a beast. He just hit the Super Commando really hard. We just one-shot him. He's actually not that much of a beast. He's got this really beastly range weapon that can have Luke just check out, I guess. It's this lightning cannon that does quite a bit of damage, has really long range, uses power cells, which are kind of rare, I think. And we can also manufacture that now. Well, not now. We need some tech for that. And he's got some armor, which we don't really care about. He's also got a quest item. I don't know where to do that quest, unfortunately. I don't think the guy will join us, but we will yoink him, and then we'll yoink one of his units. Maybe like the Creedle Gang boss. We make it back, and our base is getting camped by these battle droid swamps, which are super annoying. The Mandalorian Super Commando lost his right arm, so he actually can only kick now. And he's down. Luke's also down, and the Creedle Gang boss, or Lord of the Creedles rather, is escaping. As is the Creedle Gang boss, actually. The Sith is coming out to unleash pain on these guys, though. Luke gets back up. His head's in a really bad spot, though. I don't think getting back up was a play for him. Yeah, as you can see, he's moving super slow. There's really nothing we can do about this. I think we gotta move our base because this is brutal. We could set up turrets on the outside, I guess, to protect us, but anywhere you move through the swamp, you can encounter these battle droid swamps, and they're just nasty. I don't know where the Sith is at, by the way. Oh, he is here. He actually did make it. Luke goes down again, and yeah, this swamp actually sucks. This is not something I really thought through too well. Now the Sith has to deal with 4 of these Dark Jedi. One's a Jedi Master, actually. Holy. He's actually ripping up the Sith pretty good. If the Sith goes down here, we actually lose people. So, yeah. Oh man, this sucks. Ahsoka gets out there, and at this point she's pretty healthy, and with her and the Sith wearing Mandalorian gear plus the Sith's lightsaber being so good, they are able to win that fight. Well, we lost the Creedle Gang boss, but we captured a couple of these Dark Jedi Knights, and they have two-handed lightsabers, a Mass Type 3, which seems like it pretty much sucks, only 70% coverage, Dark Jedi robe, which is what the lower tier Jedi had, it's not that great, Dark Jedi pants, which suck, and an okay shirt. And then we also yoinked the Dark Jedi Master, who I don't think will join us because he's named, but he does have a specialist grade cloak, which pretty much sucks. Surprised because it's specialist. Dark Jedi Master Hood, which again only has 50% coverage, is specialist, but it's just not that good. Two-handed lightsaber, not great quality. Specialist grade shirt, which seems decent. Specialist leg plates, they're not as good as the Mandalorian ones, but they're still pretty decent. And specialist Dark Jedi boots, which do increase athletics. Overall, the Jedi have pretty crap equipment, which I guess they make up for with their really good skills, and of course their lightsaber. For the first time in quite a while, we do have someone that will join us, the Dark Jedi Knight, who's a Trandoshan Jedi. He gets more dodge, but he's not good at science and engineering. The dude is not only really tanky, but he has really high stats. We gave him over Ahsoka's armor, and unfortunately he can't use boots, so I decided to banish this guy and replace him with the next Dark Jedi we run into, who's of a different race, and he can use boots. Their stats are pretty similar, but for some reason this new Dark Jedi is really slow, despite having high athletics, which is very weird, something going on with his race. He will end up making for a really good base guard though. We also were able to recruit the Dark Jedi Master, who is named through pretty much the same dialogue, and this guy is a Chiss Jedi who has massive amounts of HP. He's better at science, which we're not going to have him do any science. The dude is pretty thick if you ask me. What is up with those thighs? They're like bigger than his torso. And yeah, this guy has crazy stats, similar to the Mandalorian Sith. He has 120 science, what the heck? 99 robotics, 97 engineer. Jeez. We'll give the Dark Jedi Master over the Mandalorian Super Commando's gear. We'll give the Super Commando that light lightning cannon, and we'll have him just sit on top of the roof and snipe at people. We got the Super Commando, the Assassin Robot, and the Band of Bones Marksman all on the top of our Stormhouse. Two of them are manning turrets, which do 82 damage a pop, and the Super Commando has his beastly range weapon, and his range stats are really high. I did give him over the Light Force Crystal, which increases perception, thus increasing his accuracy. And then I also gave him over this BH Light Leather, which increases range stats again. This raid that we're dealing with is not that terrifying. They do have a elite dude, and our guys are getting knocked out down here. We need to fix up the base a bit so that we have a combat zone where no one can go, because right now if I have the jobs turned on, people want to go to the gate and repair it. And the Super Commando for some reason won't aggro on these guys unless I physically right click them. The turret people don't mind firing through the gate and they'll do it automatically, but the Super Commando will not, and this raid was not that big. They did have a elite bounty hunter among the group who may join us. Never mind, she's dead. One of the commando droids might join us though. We have another Dark Jedi Knight. I might throw out our Dark Jedi Knight and recruit this guy, assuming we don't kill him. And I feel okay doing that because I didn't know the guy couldn't wear boots. There's no real reason he can't. It's just some stupid restriction. I will say we are banging up the dude's leg pretty good. If it gets to negative 260, I think his leg gets destroyed, which is something we really don't want. Although we could make him really fast with the scout leg. I wonder if his leg is destroyed if he can't wear boots anymore. That happened to Luke, but maybe if he just loses one of his legs. Oh, never mind. We knock him out. Very nice. I looted the commando droids that came with that elite raid, and one of them had a specialist pistol which does crazy damage. Doesn't have much range, but we maybe should give that over to the Mandalorian Sith, who's got really high range stats. And then we give the Sith really good lightsaber over to the Dark Jedi Master. It's not as good in melee, but the Jedi Master has one more lightsaber, two more attacks, less melee defense, but we can get his defense up. Let's say, yeah, that's a good plan. Let's give the pistol over to the Sith. I want to send out a scouting party to explore the swamp and hire new members to work our base, so we expand the base out a bit, eventually getting this set up where our gate's on the water. The reason why I'm building the wall this way is there's a glitch spot where if people walk over it, they get stuck, so I had to wall that part off. Anyways, so I think because we put the gate on the water like this, enemies just won't raid us for some reason. At the time, I didn't realize the gate positioning could have something to do with if we're getting raided or not. I thought maybe raids weren't coming because our original outpost was still up, so I went back to dismantle that, and as we're there, the hub is getting raided by another Mandalorian Sith. We unfortunately cannot recruit him, but we do get his masterwork lightsaber and armor. Before leaving the swamp, I sent out people to explore the entire thing, starting with this lost library outpost. There's a droideka inside, guarding a whopping 8 advanced schematics and a few maps that reveal the location of some stuff we'll explore later. We then hit up to the swamped lab that's home to this guy who's really tanky. He's also got really high skills, but his equipment sucks, so we're able to chop through him pretty easily to steal his lightsaber, which isn't that great a quality. There's unfortunately no dialogue to get him to join us, and it's the same story with this red saber boss to the southwest. This guy's armor again is not great, but his double blade lightsaber might be the best we've come across as it's unique. The final swamp boss worth noting is this guy northeast of Shark called Big Fang, and the dude is a whopping 216 strength. I think he's the Wookiee race because they get big strength bonuses. And again, he will not join us through dialogue, unfortunately. And his double blade lightsaber, despite looking cool, is not great quality, so not much profit here. A bit north, we do get some nice profit from their robotics workshop. I wish I knew about this place before because I think you can loot it every every night, but we're about to leave, so we loot it just once, and Luke does get some nice upgrades to both of his arms, starting with this Masterwork Thief arm, which boosts his arm HP and gives him a big boost to lockpicking, thievery, and dex. His new steady arm also gives him more HP and boosts his dex and range stats, and that's pretty much all there is to the swamp. Before leaving, we massacred the town of Shark looking for recruits, and no one wanted to join us. I also think we might have killed Yoda in the tavern. I found out later he spawns here, but came back and he was nowhere to be seen. His faction's hostile to us anyways, so I don't think we could have recruited him on this run. We did get a few recruits from random encounters in the swamp, all of which have pretty low HP, so even though they might have okay combat stats, we don't really want them to fight. The bandit will do laboring, as will this Koiba thug, who does get a laboring racial bonus. This regular thug has a farming racial bonus, as does this escaped convict, so we'll probably make them our farmers. With nothing left for us in the swamp besides horrible pathfinding, a lot of lag, and those really annoying swamp droids, we packed everything and headed east to look for a new base location. The Mandalorian Sith scouted this forest cave, and inside is this boss, Karon Dakar, who has the strongest one-handed lightsaber we've come across. The boss does have some really powerful guards, so we send the Sith some backup, and after wiping these guys out, the boss will not join us, but a few of his powerful guards will. The force-sensitive renegade whose arm we chopped off is really only lacking in the strength department, and to quickly level that, I loaded him up with some heavy goods and gave him all the hauling jobs at our new base, so he's constantly moving around without me having to control him. He's going to be a good fighter because he's so tanky, and the same goes for this dark side fanatic. Karon Dakar's last guard joins us, and this dude is really tanky, but like the force sensitive madman, he has basically no strength, so we'll also put him on the hauling jobs to buff that up a bit. We're now on day 50, so we increased the population, difficulty, and town attacks frequency. At first this actually benefits us because near a new base we can find these hive caravan groups, and they're basically free loot. Only one or two of the Garo usually have anything in their bags, but since when we increase difficulty there's now more roaming squads, I think the caravans appear more frequently. To the south of where we're setting up our new base is this town that has a giant gorilla locked away in this tower, and Luke sets it free on what seems like some kind of caravan convention. I think there's a trading route that passes through here or something. Sometimes the pack animals will have a ton of building supplies in them, which we desperately need to set up a new base, and we've now got it fully walled in, so I feel comfortable setting out a few of our stronger fighters to this Widow's lair that we passed by on the way here. Inside is the Widow, who has another really powerful unique lightsaber. Her guards are pretty strong, but they're not wearing much protection, so the fight's not that difficult, and unfortunately none of her guards will end up joining us, but she will. You'd think maybe they would have followed her to join us, but nah. She's got good HP and really high stats. She might be our best melee fighter we've got now, and we get some more new recruits from this pretty pathetic Bravosh raid. I think many of the raiders got wiped out before they got here, or the fact that we built our gate in the water is messing up the raid system. Don't worry though, I'm going to demolish that gate pretty soon once I realize it might be causing problems for the raiders. Both of these Bravosh boys get a bonus to their laboring, toughness, and strength, and they have extra HP, so we'll probably make them base guards. The thug's stats start out pretty low, at least compared to the enforcer, who's the ward leader of their pretty sad raid, and he does have some pretty good stats. Legend has it, there's a famous bounty hunter living in the upper left corner of the map, and we need to capture or kill them for a quest. Before meeting them, we explore a few of these lost landmarks, starting with this lost armory. Holy moly. What the heck is that? Why was no one swinging? We're even taking damage here, really? I'm seeing our armor is absorbing most of the hits. Blood Widow does not have good armor yet. We need to get her some Mandalorian armor. The only thing of note in this bunker was this chitin chest armor, which is pretty decent. In the next armory, we find this Masterwork composite armor, which has the same exact defenses as the chitin one. It just lowers combat stats by quite a bit more. We'll probably give this to a turret gunner, as I don't think turrets are affected by range weapon effect or combat speed effects. Finally, we do get some advanced schematics that we desperately need to advance our tech, plus some treasure maps, and we can explore those later. On day 56, we finally make it to the bounty hunter headquarters. None of these guys have lightsabers, so their melee weapons aren't really able to pierce our armor. And on the second level, we have the Clan Nimon leader, who has really high range stats. Two of her elite guards have really high damage sniper rifles, which are hitting us pretty hard throughout the fight. And her gun is nasty. She just hit the Sith for 52. Sheesh. What these guys over here, the hunters, I doubt they have good weapons. Just gang B her. We got her knocked out. Pick her up. Yoink. And we'll kill these guys and worry about the equipment later. For some reason, this supposed legendary bounty hunter has guards with really crap armor, so they don't put up much of a fight. Toka Nemon, on the other hand, does have a full set of Masterwork Mandalorian armor, which does have the same stats as our Mandalorian armor. It's just got a special skin for it. We'll give the equipment over to Blood Widow for now, as I think it looks pretty thematic for her with that red tint. Toka Nemon also has her own custom sword, which is great for killing animals. Our lightsabers have no problem cutting through animals though, so I don't know if we really care about the sword. Her gun, on the other hand, is really high damage, especially for the fact that it's only low quality, and she does drop the schematics to, I believe, make this same exact gun. Another massive schematic she drops is the one for the Mandalorian armor, so we can start crafting that ourselves, probably once we get a bit more tech. She also has a few of these carbines upstairs, which are basically machine guns because they have a really low reload time, and 2 of them are specialist quality, so we'll take those back home, and we'll maybe just give them to our melee guys so they can do ranged if need be. To do this mission, we sent out our scouting squad, which now consists of 5 members, meaning we're able to carry 5 of the Mandalorians out to try to recruit them, and we didn't have to carry them too far. We just headed over to this cannibal village and slaughtered all the cannibals, and we threw the Mandalorians in cages to see if anyone would join us. Toka Nemon, their boss, would not join us, so we kill her, but her guards will join us if we promise to pay them 20k, like we did with the other Mandalorians. They have the same dialogue. They all have a baseline 100 HP, so we'll probably just put them on turrets to snipe at enemies from safety, or we could give them sniper rifles. We did pick up some really good ones from that fight. The swordsman does have really high melee stats, so maybe we'll give him a lightsaber once we get some better armor, because yeah, the stuff they were wearing was surprisingly bad. The hunter, who had the really good sniper rifle, is much better at range than melee, and an elite is good at both. We also found this new type of dark Jedi just roaming around, and the guy's pretty mid-range stats, but a really nice HP pool. His only downside is he is now missing a leg after we chopped it off. You may have noticed a few of the Mandalorians were missing limbs as well, so Luke heads back to Mongrel to yoink some parts from the robotics workshop. He does get caught stealing a few times, but the shopkeeper does not seem to mind. Also keep in mind the game is not paused, so he should be coming after us, or maybe Luke's just too stealthy at this point. I don't know. Luke gives all the limbs to the Dark Jedi, who he carried here to use as an extra backpack. To be able to carry even more limbs, we grabbed the only backpack I could find in the town, which was on their general goods trader. This thing is not only extremely heavy, I think it's made out of copper or something. It's like the complete opposite of the invisibility cloak in Harry Potter. You cannot stealth while carrying it. Before putting it on, Luke loads up his bag in his inventory with as many limbs as he can carry, and then he puts the giant bag on and tosses as many limbs into it as he can. And because he now has the backpack on, his stealth is 0, and he is seen by a passerby. Put the bag on the ground, because yeah, we don't want him to get seen. Does that girl see him? Maybe she doesn't care. Oh, she's a part of the Ahsoka faction. Oh, and it's Ahsoka Tano. We can actually talk to her because she's not hostile with us. That is a very interesting coincidence. Coincidentally, we meet her as she's doing some robotic shopping herself at 2:30 a.m. I'm not sure why she's out so late.
Did I ever tell you about Ahsoka Tano? She learned how to handle a meat saber better than anyone in the Jedi Temple. We taught her to grip her weapon backwards like a dildo, and she constantly got captured by pirates and slavers almost every other day. It was ridiculous, like a constant porno, Luke. You have no idea.
We're gonna talk to her though. She wants to know what brings us here. We're just trying to find our way. She's been struggling with trying to find her way as well. She seems lost. She goes on to say she was betrayed. Sometimes betrayal does lead to new paths though, like the robotic shop at 2 a.m. where you find Luke Groundcrawler. She says that we make a compelling argument. Trust is earned, not spoken. And she says she needs time to consider. I wonder if we can just talk to her again right after. She says she needs 35,000 credits, which obviously we don't have. How can we help? And then she explains how we gather credits. Being that we're in debt almost 1 billion credits, it's going to take quite a while to gather the 35k she requires. On day 75, I did plan on installing this mod Chaos Raids, which to work properly says it requires us to import our save. Importing essentially brings your relations, dead NPCs, research, and buildings to a completely new game, and this is required a lot of the time when installing new mods for them to fully work. There is, however, no option to bring your money with you, or debt in our case.
That's great.
So after we import, our 1 billion credit debt is going to be wiped, and we can then start getting money from trading. We are still hostile with most factions, and if you're hostile with the faction, you cannot trade with them. But if we put a shop counter in the base, I'm wondering if visitors will come and buy stuff from us, and then we can use that money to hire the real Ahsoka Tano. I plan to import in a couple days, but before we do, Luke still has to make it out of Mongrel with all the limbs, and wearing the backpack does lower his stealth to 0, but even if we put it in his inventory, his stealth is still lowered by a ton because he's so overloaded, so stealthing out of the town would be near impossible. So the way he gets out is he puts the bag on the ground, stealths the heck out of here, which is going to be easier said than done because it's currently 5 a.m. and it's getting light out. He does make it past the guards though. He's going to meet up with the Dark Jedi, grab him, and then charge back into town, which currently is being distracted, and he's then going to run through the town over to this shopkeeper goods bag, and this is not going to seem like it should work, what I'm about to do, but we're going to put that bag on, crap, what was the guy's name? I'm going to pause for a second. Renegade Dark Jedi, okay. So we're going to unpause, put the bag on the Renegade Dark Jedi, and that's going to lower his encumbrance down to 17%, even though technically he is still carrying all the weight. The game doesn't know that because the backpack is on the Dark Jedi. Ouch, that hurt a little bit. He does have a Masterwork Scout leg on and a Specialist one, so he is not going to be slowed down by that really at all. While Luke was on his mission, we sent a few people south to this suspicious lab, which is now home to Emperor Palpatine. To increase his mastery of the dark side, I think he was doing experiments on cannibals here. The dude has good stats, but only 100 HP, so in order to not kill him, we're going to be using much weaker melee weapons we picked up along the way. And alright, we're just going to have everyone focus Palpatine with pretty crappy weapons. I don't know how well this is going to work actually. The Jedi Master already took a bunch of damage on his arm, and we're actually wrecking the dude. Stomach's down to 4. We're just not really able to hit him because the way Kenshi attack slots work is if too many people are attacking one person, they're mostly focused on just blocking. And there we go, we took him out. We'll have the Jedi Master kidnap him. I'll unpause and then put the lightsabers on and go to town on these freaking cannibals. There is one type of cannibal that we haven't tried to recruit here yet, so we will try to recruit that guy if we don't kill him. But overall, I don't think there's much chance that he'll join. Because, yeah, we tried to talk to the scrawny cannibals. They would not join. And the Kathunian cannibals would not join. Then there was like a cannibal leader here. And now I think about it, I think there was only one of them. So we probably killed the dude. And here we go, I found the guy. It's this cannibal chef that has a bounty on his head for 20k. We don't care too much about the bounty, but we will try to recruit the guy. And I forgot to check out Palpatine's gear. So he's got this dark cloak that pretty much sucks. I'm surprised his stats are so bad. He's got the Blade of Sidious, which looks pretty crap, except it has 90% armor pen. Our lightsabers have way more cutting and blunt damage, but they only have 25% armor pen. And it only weighs 1 kg versus this beastly one weighs 36. At the top of the tower is an ancient safe, which has this Specialist T21 rifle in it that has huge range and damage. And then we found 2 advanced schematics in other crates. We throw the cannibal chef and Palpatine into his own prisoner cages, and the chef has no dialogue to join us, but Palpatine does, and it is pretty interesting. And he tells us to use our weapon to strike him down, and our journey to the dark side will be complete. It's unfortunate that Luke's not here to do this. It's the Mandalorian Sith. If I strike you down, that will be the end of you. He's been dead before, that's true. That's ridiculous. No, you don't understand, my boy. The dark side gives unnatural powers. When you talk, I get bad feelings, okay? And wow, he actually will join us. He only has 100 HP, but he does get an athletics bonus for some reason. And his stats are really interesting. He's got really high perception and dex, but basically no toughness and strength, so we're going to have to level that up. He is really good with a lightsaber and has a really high attack and defense. Since he's got such a good mastery of the Force, he has really high medic, I guess. Good, my boy. Allow me to take charge of your pitiful band, and together we will bring order to the galaxy. They really did a good job with that guy. He looks so much like Palpatine too. Wow. We explore the floodlands to the south and aggressively hire this Kathun thug. We bring him back to our new recruitment center, and he will join us if we give him a random type of food that changes every few hours. We also try to hire the owner of Burns Tower, a robot that will normally join you, but we're hostile with this faction. He wouldn't join us, so we let this cannibal try to convince him. He wasn't very convincing. Further to the south, we get some advanced schematics from this leaning tower, and quite a bit more from these ancient labs. There was some droids in there, but we wiped them him out pretty easily. And we wiped a few more droids in this zone, literally. After defeating them in combat, I finally find the right dialogue options to make him join us. So we got to choose basic, begin to enter access code, and then anytime we see a manual override, we click that. So just keep clicking the manual overrides. And then the first option is always 4. Then we get a bunch more manual overrides. And the next option's 1. And the next option's the 4th one. And then we reset the droid back to its default. And it's like, what? How'd you do that? You rescued me. Can't recall anything before, like us kicking his butt. He doesn't know what he's doing in the cage. He hoped he didn't cause his master harm. The assassin droid's pretty cool, as it gets a bonus to turrets, and robots don't need to eat, so you can just put them on a turret forever. The broken droid is also really good with turrets and precision shooting, but maybe its perception sensor is broken because it only starts with 1. We can plop it on a lower tier turret and just let it do a bunch of friendly fire till it levels up its perception. The last thing in this zone to explore is this Kathun stronghold to the southeast. Inside is some potential new recruits. We got a bunch of these Kathun thugs, and we've already captured one of those. But then there's some higher tier units like this Kathun assassin, which we did knock out. Very nice. We're having the Mandalorian Sith and the Jedi use those machine guns we picked up earlier because they both have pretty high perception and range weapons. These guys are just flooding out. I'm pretty sure we knocked out the guys we need to, so maybe we have Ahsoka and the Blood Widow just charge. The Sith is out of ammo, I think, because he's charging. Yeah, he's completely out of ammo. Those machine guns just shoot through ammo because he had 2 fresh power cells worth of ammo. That wasn't even that long of a fight. I think we'll just have these guys charge in and just start owning. Just turn off hold mode and then just go in. So there is a boss here as well, but he has a ton of HP, so I'm not too worried about killing him. Oh, here we go. The Wraith. 300 HP and super high stats. Be really cool if this guy joins us, but I kind of doubt. Blood Widow has a crappy weapon and she doesn't have her lightsaber in her inventory. We gotta do this kind of fast too because we have a raid back at our base and it's freaking massive. You guys just focus the Wraith, please, and get the heck out of here. We just need to capture the Wraith and then get a couple of his buddies. We've already got a swordsman. We got the assassin outside. There we go, we knocked the Wraith. Pick him up. He's probably got really good gear, but we really have to micro back at the base, so we're just gonna grab him and worry about the base, as long as I can figure out who we need to grab here. The carabiner. That's who we need to grab. Is he dead actually? Let's make sure he's not dead. Oh, he's dead. Crap. There was a carabiner knocked out outside that we were able to grab. Plus we grabbed an assassin who was missing a left arm. Inside there's a treasure chest that has 7 advanced schematics, 2 maps. We definitely need an engineer's map for engineering research, and all really crap quality weapons and bandoliers that we don't care about. But we do need a medium backpack, so we'll yoink that. After demolishing the gate, our base gets absolutely annihilated. I did not know it was going to send us this many raiders this quick, and so I did end up safe scumming and rebuilt our gates in the water, and I just added some more for extra precaution. And it is confirmed that if your gates are in the water, raiders will not attack you, because we currently have 2 raids on opposite sides of our base just sitting outside of our walls. We got this one and then this massive arachne raid, which did wipe us completely. We had no chance against this thing. We're having our main group just beeline back home, and once they get back home, we're going to demolish the gates in the water, and from then on, no more cheesing. It does take our main group quite a bit of time to get home, because not only are we carrying quite a bit of stuff, we are a long ways away. As it was dark, we snuck back in our base without the raiders seeing us, and before we figure out how we're going to deal with them, I want to go over what we're going to do with our tech. So we have 30 advanced schematics, and we're going to spend 8 on tech level 5, and then I really want large building shells, which requires an engineering research, so we can't do that yet. We can upgrade our turrets though using 1 advanced schematic. We'll go for that tech, and then for even more advanced turrets, we can unlock this tech for 2 more advanced schematics. And then once we research that, we found this advanced turret BP for a turret that can fire multiple shots. Our next main priority is job recruitment, so we can actually talk to everyone that we picked up along the way, including this Wookiee adventurer, which we just found this dude randomly. We'll go over his stats in a minute if he will join. The Wraith unfortunately does not look like he wants to talk to us, so I don't think he'll join. We can check out his equipment though. His his Wraith Carbine shoddy quality. He does have a legendary acid sword though, which may or may not be competitive with lightsabers. I'll have to remember to try that out in some upcoming fight. And as far as his gear, it's all standard grade, kind of trash stuff. He has his own race armor, but it's only standard grade, and it's really not that good. Only 55% coverage on the arms. The only thing really of note is he has a carbine recipe, and it's some kind of special one. We'll definitely learn that. Our front gate now looks like this, and the raiders still don't want to charge. I think they would have charged if our setup was like this when they originally got here. The two raids on either side of our base are still stuck, but after I want to say like 4 or 5 hours, 2 new raids showed up, and one is just a bunch of dust bandits, but one is the Arachne faction. I've seen some damage numbers going up on these guys, but I'm not sure where that's coming from. I think they might be attacking each other maybe. And there's another faction here, the battle droids. They don't seem to be attacking the Arachne faction. And what the heck is this? We have a cannibal raid coming. Okay, our game is probably going to crash. This might be a little bit too much. Because I added the mod Chaos Raids to our game, and I don't even know if it requires an import. We'll see, these guys aren't charging our base, which is weird. We're just going to open our gate and see what happens. The raiders are slowly funneling into us. We got our gunners up on turrets, just sniping at them. Our melee guys are not in a good spot, and they could get hit by friendly fire where they're currently standing. This is not a good base defense setup we have so far. Most of the cannibals ended up dying, and while we're waiting for our next raid, a droid trader showed up. I think we want to attack these guys because they have a lot of different types of droids that we might be able to recruit. Before I thought you couldn't recruit them, but I think I just messed the dialogue up. So we will attack them in a second. Before we do, I am making kind of this cover area where our melee fighters can hide behind, so our harpooners will not shoot them with friendly fire. We're going to have some of our turret gunners just focus the droids, and they're going to actually try to flee. We should run them down. We got a couple droids out here, like the super battle droids. And some droidicas. A protocol droid may join us. I forget if he had the dialogue or not. We had cut off one of his arms and one of his legs, but maybe we can give him a bionic. The reconfigured battle droid will join us, and the thing's stats are pretty bad for anything that's not just being a full-time turret gunner. I just worry that we're going to one-shot it randomly with friendly fire. It can only wear a chest piece and pants, so yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just going to get one-shotted. So I'm thinking we're just going to have it do jobs around the base. It does get a laboring penalty and does get a bonus to turret-related stats, but there are some jobs that are not laboring, like crafting weapons, for example. The super battle droid also gets range bonuses, and again, can't wear much armor, but it does have a bit more HP. Its stats do start out really low for a super battle droid, but it is a super battle droid old, so maybe it was considered a super battle droid a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. We also recruited the 3 Cat 30 people that we captured, and they all have 100 HP, so they're not going to make for great fighters. The thug stats are also pretty low, but he is good at farming and cooking, and we currently don't have a cook, so we'll probably just have him do that. The carabiner is pretty good at ranged and does get a dexterity bonus, so we'll either have him man a turret or we'll give him a sniper, and we'll probably just do the same with the assassin, who has pretty similar stats to the carabiner. The assassin is just much better at melee, but his HP is too low to have him do melee, at least until we get some better gear. And with that, there's 4 people left in our prisoner cages that we cannot currently recruit. The protocol droid has no dialogue. The Wookiee adventure requires 2,500, I believe, and the bounty hunter requires 50. For some reason, he doesn't want to talk right now. And the wraith hasn't opened up dialogue options, so I assume he won't join. Since we recruited everyone in the prisoner cages that would join us, we're now going to do the import, which is going to make all these prisoners vanish, and voila, we are now at 0 debt. While we're setting up shop at our base and doing some base modifications, we sent a very small scouting party west, and Luke was able to find, I think it was 9 advanced schematics from these ancient labs. We already explored the forest cave earlier, but we did not explore Death Watch bunker. By the time we get here, it's dark, and there's a bunch of these Death Watch wraiths running around that look pretty good as far as their stats, so I think we're just gonna have Luke stealth around them. So I checked one of the bunkers and there was nothing, so I'm gonna assume there's nothing in the second one. There's a bunch of swamp raptors attacking this place, which are about to get owned, I'm pretty sure. What we will worry about is trying to stealth into this place, which is working so far. So a lot of dudes wandering around. I'm not sure how Luke has not been seen yet. He's walking through the light. Nice, good. We can pick this weapon display. There's 3 of these Mandalorian MK3 vibro axes, which I doubt are comparable to lightsabers. And this disruptor rifle is shoddy quality. We got an ancient safe over here. Wow, there's a lot of disruptor rifles in here. And then we got the disruptor rifle blueprints, and the Death Watch armor blueprint, and right blade blueprint. At the top, there is another ancient safe. Specialist disruptor rifles. I just don't feel like they're really worth stealing. Mandalorian armor blueprint, which you already have, I believe. There's 3 or 4 different types of units in that place. So I was thinking we yoink one to see if they're recruitable. Their range weapons just rip through our armor, and the Sith's left arm just gets absolutely destroyed here. So it looks like he's gonna have to go back to base to heal before we continue our adventure. As we were leaving, we did run into one more of their members, and we managed to yoink that guy. The Wraith has really good Mandalorian equipment. The chest piece is actually specialist. The boots, the leggings, and the shirt are all high grade, and the rifle is shoddy quality. I'm guessing some of the other guys might have had higher quality weapons because, yeah, they were pretty terrifying. We can talk to him, but the dialogue is purely friendly. He asks us if we need directions, so yeah, I'm pretty sure he's not recruitable. We ask him for news, but there's not really much news to speak of. To cover more ground, we split up our scouting parties and had Luke head down to Fishman Isle, where there's a bounty that he's going to try to claim. While down here, he runs into 2 renegade dark Jedi, I believe. I can't see this guy's full name, but I assume that's what he is. And well, we just tagged him really good there. We already do have a renegade dark Jedi, but this guy is a Wookiee, and he has crazy high strength. So I'm thinking we're going to dump our renegade dark Jedi and pick this guy up, assuming we can capture him and get him to a prisoner cage. We actually knock him down with the second hit to the chest. Very nice. That's good timing too, because there's a giant fishman group heading our way. We're not really going to be able to fully banish him though. We'll just grab him and run. While Luke's trying to find a prison cage for that dude to put him in and try to recruit him, we're having our main group explore this old prison. And inside there's a bunch of guerrilla bandits. I don't think these guys will join us. I remember trying earlier to recruit them and there was no luck. On the second level, we have their boss, Gorillo. We did already hit in the stomach. I really tried not to kill him here. If we hit him one more time. Well, we hit him in the leg, that's good. And we knocked him. Okay, grab him. I did pause while doing that. I just want to make sure I clicked it right. We can check out his lightsaber. Master two-handed lightsaber, unique quality. This might be the best lightsaber we got so far. It's got way higher value than our double-bladed. And I finally found a difference between the lightsabers. With the double-bladed, they'll throw them sometimes, and they do AoE damage, I believe. I'm not sure about the two-handed ones. This one just seems like it does a ton of damage, though. He's also got a marine bodysuit shirt, masterwork marine leggings, which aren't great, actually, compared to the Mandalorian ones. They're actually not masterwork, they're specialist chitin boots, which are pretty tanky, marine armor, which again is not that great. It is specialist quality, but stats do leave a bit to be desired. And then masterwork chitin helmet, which is really good, actually. It's also got this freelancer hunter gear blueprint, which we will take. And then we also took his 3 advanced schematics from his upstairs chest. Now the question is, will he join us? Ironically, at a place named the Old Prison, there are no prisoner cages, so we're gonna have that group meet up with Luke back at Fish Isle, who is still looking for a prisoner cage. Meanwhile, at our base, while we're doing some modifications, we have a massive cannibal raid, and a droid trader just showed up while that's going down. Apparently we're hostile with the traders now. But yeah, we'll try to deal with this cannibal raid, and then I guess we'll try to take out the droids. Because it's nighttime, I believe they get a ranged penalty. So yeah, we're just gonna try to chop these dudes up. We don't have great equipment on a lot of our dudes. Our Jedi Knight needs to get out here. He was not in that fighting because I don't really know what he was doing. Is he out here? No, he's not out here. He's like the main dude that's got really good fighting here. And then we got Ahsoka Tano as well. Dark Adept is not bad. He's got some okay equipment. That actually went pretty well. We've got a commando droid over here that we'll try to yoink and recruit, and then we'll yoink this droid engineer as well, and I don't know if he'll want to join us or not. The Sith, the Jedi Master, and the Blood Widow meet up with Luke on Fishman Isle, and there are some prisoner pools, and we might be able to recruit from these. The Wookiee does join us, and the guy gets a 200% strength bonus and some other nice bonuses for combat like toughness, lightsabers, and attack. He's just not as good at running and dodging, but that's okay. If he's too slow, we could just leave him at base. Aside from having really high strength, the rest of the dude's stats are pretty low, so we'll need to train them up. And then since we picked up a new Renegade Dark Jedi, we'll banish the old one and yoink his specialist scout leg. The Guerrilla boss, unfortunately, will not join us, so we're just going to yoink him, and we'll try to turn him into the Galactic Republic for that 50k bounty. So there's pretty much nothing in the town of Fish Isle, just a bunch of trash. But to the southwest, there's an island lab, and in that lab is a bunch more fishmen. There's these alpha gurglers, which may join us. The regular gurglers had no dialogue options. Here we go. The gurgler King Gurgler, who I believe does have a bounty on his head. And we knocked him. Okay, well that was easy. And he does have this scythe blade unique quality, which is really good for killing animals. Again, I doubt its damage is comparable to lightsaber, but it is really heavy, so we could use it to train someone's strength up. In his inventory is some foul raw meat that no one's gonna want to eat, and a gurgler head of, I guess, him. I wonder if we could recruit him and sell his gurgler head. Our base is getting raided again, and this one's actually kind of terrifying. There's a bunch of these rogue B1 battle droids, which I don't think we've picked up so far, and a rogue B2 battle droid, which is definitely different than our battle droid old. This thing is not old for sure. We will pick this thing up, and we'll yoink one of these rogue B1 battle droids. We'll put them back in prisoner cages to see if anyone will join us. And speaking of joining us, I don't think King Gurgler will. There's no dialogue here. Upstairs though, we do find 2 AI cores and 3 engineering research, both of which we really need to advance our tech. And for the most part, they were just in unlocked crates. The ancient safe loot that we had to break into, I think, was actually trash. To the east of Fish Isle, we looted this Southern Hive village for like 4k credits, and then headed to the Southern Hive town. And inside this town, we looted 2k credits, plus there's an AI core in one of these crates. We're just gonna kind of YOLO in here and try to take out their queen, who has 375 HP. We don't want to kill her because I think if we capture her and bring her to our base, A, she might join us, which I don't think she will. But B, I think if she's our prisoner, these guys will send us raids, which may or may not be a good thing. Remember, we knocked her out, and she's rebooting, so she's actually a robot. We got her thrown over here, where I'm guessing we're gonna find some loot. In this chest, we got some engineering research. Inside the safe is a specialist shirt, a assault armor segment for crafting armor, and a bunch more credits. Patrolling around the hive is this giant robot king, who was not there to save his queen, unfortunately for him. And we are just annihilating the dude. His left leg is almost gone. He's not hitting us too hard. He hit someone for like 8. That attack was blocked. Yeah, overall, the dude is just not really able to do too much to us. King is definitely not the king in this mod, that is for sure. There we go, he finally goes down, and he gets back up again. Hope we don't end up killing him. I would like to try to recruit him. I doubt it's possible. There we go. Knock him out again. Kidnap him. I wonder what loot he has. Yeah, he has an AI core plus some assault armor segments we can use for crafting. We won't yoink any of that because that'll probably kill him. We'll try to recruit him first. Before doing that fight, we sent Luke back with the 2 AI cores and 3 engineering research. And I guess we'll use 2 of the AI cores to advance our tech level, even though we need them for quite a few more things. We should have access to a lot more tech after getting the next tech levels, so we can make a better decision on what we want to spend our stuff on. We made it back home and dumped the queen, king, and there's a few more people we have in prisoner cages, and no one wants to talk to us. I think that's a bug that can happen sometimes, and I'm trying to figure out how to fix it. Meanwhile, we're getting raided by these commando droid 3s, which are really powerful droids. There's not that many of them. There's only like 5. We actually cut off this one's arm. I don't think we can give it a bionic, but we'll try. And then over here we have their war leader, who I don't think will join us, but we'll try to recruit him as well if we don't kill him. Dude's got really good stats. He's a part of an elite assault group. We're literally hitting every one of his body parts at least once. I think we could just focus something and knock him out. We do knock this guy out, very nice. Then over here we have a commando droid 3 that has all of its body parts intact, so we'll try to recruit that one instead probably. As soon as we put the commando droid 3 in a prisoner cage, he would talk to us, and his dialogue was pretty much the same as the Mandalorian one. At the end he asked for 10k, and the dude is definitely worth it. He's really good with range weapons and has a range weapon bonus, and I'm thinking we might just add him to our main group because his run speed is 23, which is pretty quick, and we're about to maybe need some shooters in our main scouting group. We sent our scouting party to the southeast, and near this ruin is a pretty massive battle. There's these giant AT-ATs, and there's a Sith Knight among the group. Whoa, getting a little bit of lag here. Is that us that got hit? No, our HPs are pretty good. I want to pick up this Sith Knight, and maybe he'll join us. And then I wonder if we could get one of these giant AT-ATs. We just knocked it. These things have a ton of HP. We were beating on them for a little while. Yeah, we'll try to knock out the Sith Knights if we can. There we go. We'll grab him, and we'll try to grab one of the AT-ATs. So I guess we cannot. We only have the option to repair it. It's too big, I guess. Can loot it though for its AI core. What? Okay, we'll definitely take those. We need AI cores so bad. That's crazy. You can get them off these things. There's actually another one of these things we can take out. Very nice. It was already pretty injured, I guess. We'll take another AI core. In this zone is a Galactic Republic stronghold that Luke tried to enter, but they did not want him to enter. And they started to shoot at us, but Luke was able to dip out of there. East of that is a hyper-claimed armory, and it's almost nighttime, so we're gonna have Luke stealth into that. East of the armory is a Dark Jedi village. There's a bunch of Dark Jedi here, and we can talk to the Dark Jedi sculptor. Do like a force imbued alteration to your physical form, and I guess we can literally sculpt our form and change our body type and our name. Can't change our race or anything like that though. We can also tell him that we lost our lightsaber, and the dude has a bunch for sale. They don't seem to be that good. They look overall pretty trash quality. He also has some robes, a Jedi robe as well of shoddy grade. He does have the blueprint for Dark Jedi apparel, which I don't think is that good of stuff. We can make training lightsabers, which could be good for training our melee fighter stats up. On this tech for meditative techniques allows us to make a meditation mat, which makes it so we can heal and train toughness, I guess. That's very interesting. It's 15k though. To get some money, we're gonna have Luke try to steal from this Hyver outpost or whatever it was called. We actually bumped into that dude. I don't know why these guys are all coming over here. It's like they can smell us or something. They're kind of following Luke. It's like they can smell him. As you can see, there's a lot going on back at our base, but we're not going to worry about it right now. Inside this chest, there's some stuff that we might as well just take and we can sell. A specialist grade padded belt, which has a 15% chance to block that amount of damage to the stomach, which isn't great. Does give it 2 bonus to melee defense and martial arts though. Definitely yoink it. You can give it to someone that doesn't have a belt. Yeah, we'll just keep looting this place and we'll see if we can find anything worth selling. Survival knife sells for 5k. We'll take it. Same with this axe. If we move around our inventory like that, we can yoink it. While Luke's looting that, we send our main group to the southeast towards this zone, Sonora's Dark, and they run into this group of pretty terrifying shadow droids. And the Sith is getting banged up pretty good here. We're just gonna try to run. We brought snipers with us, and we're gonna try to snipe at these commando droids, which seem to be really powerful. And they're also fighting a battle themselves. I can't really see what's going on because it's so dark. The Jedi Master and the Sith both have really good range weapons, and we should get Luke over here as well, so he can help us this whole thing. We brought iron plates with us, so we set up some prisoner cages. We also brought some camp beds, and the Sith is going to heal up his injuries. The Widow is actually pretty much almost full. Jedi Master's full. We're going to talk to the Sith Knight, and we're going to see if he'll join us. He will not, which is not good because, as you can see, there is one of his buddies, part of his faction, trying to liberate him. So, yeah, we're going to have to get up and fight, which does kind of suck, but I think these guys have crappy range stats at night, if I'm not mistaken. Never mind, we're getting owned. The Jedi Master just got lit up. Take off ranged. I'm just going to do this while paused, because this is really important that we don't F this up. Take off range, just charge these guys. I don't know how many there are. We just freaking cleave these dudes down. Jeez. Okay, that works. The Jedi Master got hit pretty good. The Blood Widow got hit really bad in the head. Ouch. You can see their weapons are these beastly T-21s, and they just rip through our armor. Not long after that, we get ambushed by these Spine Rancors, which are way too powerful for us to try to fight. They're like quadruple the HP of a normal Rancor, and we just dump our prisoners and run away. Luke makes it back to the Dark Jedi village, and I'm just going to start selling stuff that we yoinked from those Hyvers earlier. Probably to sell this padded belt too. We can make vibro necklers, which are better belts than those, I think. And with that, we're up to 25k, which is enough to buy the Dark Jedi apparel, the Dark Jedi training lightsabers, and the meditative techniques. They also have a treasure map that we'll buy for 1k. The shopkeep now has more than enough to buy this Gurgler head that we've been dragging around that we picked up from King Gurgler. And after selling that, we're up to almost 30k. There's also this guy, Hanyu Kaishan, who we can talk to. And he says he can feel Luke's hatred. He says we might have what it takes to become one of them. We're listening. And he will teach us the ways of the Force, the true ways of the Force, like the old Jedi failed to teach, sure. And we now have negative 55 relation with the Jedi, and they're now hostile to us. We have to learn the Sith code, kneel, peace of lie, through strength I gain power, power I gain victory, through victory my chains are broken, the Force shall free me, understand, rise my apprentice. And we tell him we're ready for our first trial. First trial is to go to the Outland Crystal Cave. We're supposed to kill everyone there, especially their leader. I'll deal with them. So that cave appears on the map, and it's kind of far, but Luke's going to be able to get over there pretty quick. With his 89 athletics and his robotics, he's now moving at 50 miles per hour, which is double that of our next fastest person pretty much. Meanwhile, we get to see one of these spine rancors maybe get taken out by this Revanchist group. The Order of the Revan is really powerful, and they have a bunch of these Revanchists. They're getting cleaved down by this thing though. Holy. These guys have really good armor, so you can imagine how much damage these spine rancors are doing. The thing finally goes down after, I don't know, I want to say like an hour or two maybe. And I'm seeing one Revanchist is knocked out. I would really like to yoink his stuff. We will also yoink these spine rancor horns that have a value of 15k. Rancor claws. He's a bunch of animal bones and animal skin as well. This stuff will sell for quite a bit. I tried to move the spine rancor out of the way so we could see what Revanchists are knocked out. Then when I dropped it, it went back to the same spot. Not sure what that's all about. I tried again and no luck. There's one Revanchist over here that's unconscious for another 50 seconds. We're gonna yoink the dude, which I don't think will piss these guys off because it's not a kidnapping order. And I guess we can do this because we're out of town and they think that we're trying to save the guy. I think the coolest thing about these Revanchists is they have these capes that make whatever's in them basically weigh nothing. Cumbrance reduction of 99%. And you can stack more in them, I think. Spec Ops only allow you to stack 5 animal skin, but these allow you to stack it up more than that. So these things are really overpowered. As for his other equipment, he's got a lightsaber. It's not great quality. Revanchist sash, which is the best shirt by far we've come across. 100% coverage to a bunch of places, and it gives a ton of protection. Increases stealth as well. Maybe we should give that to Luke, even though he's not doing much fighting. It'd be kind of a waste. The leggings are pretty tanky. I don't know if they're better than the Mandalorian ones. They're way less weight though, and they don't lower stealth by that much. They might be better for Luke. These boots actually increase athletics. I think it's worth it to swap out the Mandalorian ones, which are a bit tankier, but they actually lower athletics. And the armor is also interesting. It gives less range protection though, which I'm not a fan of, but 100% coverage to the arms and less coverage to the stomach. It does weigh a lot less, so there's that. Back at base, we researched tech level 6, and I think we're just going to research large building shells and heavy building foundations. And I'm not sure what heavy building foundations actually does. I know large building shells is good because it lets you build the towers, I think, and they're really good for sniping. We should also probably research copper alloys so we can make copper plates. And with that, we're down to 1 engineering research. We made it back to our makeshift camp with the Revanchist, and he's currently in recovery coma, so we put him in our camp bed to let him recover quicker. And if those Revanchists come by, we'll just tell him that we were letting the guy heal up, and we took all his equipment off so that he wouldn't be uncomfortable while he sleeps. As you can see, the Jedi Master is enjoying his new cape. The Revanchist comes to, and he has no dialogue to join us, so we just let him on his merry way. We just tell him that the Rancor ate his equipment. We run into some more of these Dark Trooper Night Hunter things, and their squad is over there. I'm not sure why they're just ignoring us. And this Rogue SK series has some kind of machine gun or something. I'm not sure what's going on with that thing. What is that gun? SG-82 rifle. Is that what was just rapid firing, or was it something else? The Jedi Master is getting lit up. Oh, the rapid fire is coming from that group who's shooting at the Jedi Master. On these guys over here. I didn't even see these guys. Jeez. Okay, well, we knocked out one more of these Night Hunter Dark Troopers, and they have really good stats. I really want to get one of them to join us. And we got another battle. These Death Watch Mandalorians are fighting more of these Night Hunter Dark Troopers, the ones I want to capture. Could maybe capture the Death Watch Mandalorians as well. The Mandalorians are getting absolutely annihilated from these guys' sniper rifles. Oh yeah, they just got destroyed. And they outnumbered the Dark Troopers too by quite a bit. There's a Night Hunter Dark Trooper knocked out over here, and then these two are bandaging each other up, or one's bandaging this guy. We're gonna try to snipe at them, and we're gonna try to hit this dude. When we get hit, of course. Oh, we're getting lit up. Blood Widow, I don't want you to charge, really. We get hit again twice. Dark Jedi Master. And he gets hit again. Jeez. We knocked this guy, though. The Jedi Master's arm is banged up way too bad. Okay, we gotta run. He can't even use it anymore. On second thought, we're actually gonna try again. We could have the Blood Widow just charge, I guess. If she can get this thing in melee, then we're good. Oh yeah, she's gonna be able to get it in melee. Not before she gets tagged really good, though. Jeez. Get in melee and start slicing. There we go. Holy moly. We put the Dark Trooper in a cage, and we're gonna quickly try to recruit him because there's some Rancors nearby, and we can reprogram him. Very nice. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the same options as all the other droids. Dude gets a bonus to anything that you can imagine a ranged user would need. He's gonna be amazing with the gun, as we saw, and he's got really high melee stats as well. Whoa. 100 toughness too. He's gonna need that toughness because he cannot wear a helmet, shirt, or boots. Just gonna give him over the Revanchist armor for now. We'll give him back his specialist Dark Trooper rifle. I was comparing this thing to the hyper rifles we're using. It reloads quicker but does less damage. Not sure which one's better. Because we set up these camp beds and these cages, the game now thinks we have an outpost, so we're getting raided, which really sucks. We just wanted to nap. Before they get here, we can actually talk to this Rogue SK series droid. If we do reprogram it right now, I wonder if these guys are just gonna kill it. The SK series droid has pretty similar bonuses as the other one we just picked up, and really good stats all around for ranged weapons. It could also do melee if needed. We're gonna set the thing free, and then we're gonna have everyone just run. Even though we might actually be able to own these Skinner droids, if they have ranged weapons, I don't think it's really worth to try. I noticed most of them didn't have ranged weapons, so we just turned on them and fought, and pretty much immediately the entire group just flees. Luke makes it up to the cave, but forgets ammo and a lightsaber, so he's gonna have to sneak into this town and try to steal some. Inside the town is a blaster shop, which is guarded by a couple droids at the front. Can we actually sneak by these guys? Oh jeez. Sneak in. There's so many people in here. There's ammo in these crates. Not the right type for our sniper rifle though. Hopefully we can lockpick this chest. Very nice. We do lockpick in, and we got power cells. This is what we need. There's some blueprints in here. We might as well just seal them all. There's no chance of failing it. And as for the guns, they're not looking to be that good. We could try to push our luck and go for the safe over here. Could be some really good guns in the safe. If they do see us, which they very well might because we're in light now. Oh yeah, we're seeing. We're getting hit. Grab a specialist gun. Oops, I didn't mean to pause. Run. Oh jeez, just run, 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 run. Luke makes it over to the cave, and he's actually going to use that carbine he just stole because the thing just rapid fires and does pretty good damage. And here we go. We got the main dude I think we need to take care of. This guy's got a bounty of 10k on his head. Or maybe it's this guy actually. He has a bounty of 70k. I'm not sure why they're not trying to attack us. Maybe they can't see us at night. I have no idea what's going on here. This is not the hardest quest though, that's for sure. We're doing that thing where we hit pretty much every one of his body parts. And the guy is actually about to bleed out. Let's try to bandage him up. Maybe he'll join us, probably not. Then in his inventory is this Jabi Power Crystal, which is the item that I believe we need for the quest. He also has a pretty crappy two-handed lightsaber. And as soon as we took the crystal, the guy died. So his life force, I guess, was tied to that crystal somehow. Luke will try to sneak in this place and we'll steal these bleeding force crystals, which have a pretty good value. There might even be better ones. Let's loot the big ones if we can. I don't know where Luke's going. Some weird pathfinding with this place. Like I can click on the ceiling and he'll just run a random direction. Cracked force crystal, and it's not good. Who's this guy, by the way? Just a dark adept. He does have a name, but not anything special. Crystals in this place kind of suck from what I can see. Not sure why these guys are all moving. Oh, they're trying to bandage someone, I think. But yeah, overall, nothing really to see here. I sent the smaller droid home on its own because it's only moving at 20 max, 18 with its plating on. And our main group right now is moving at 23, so I didn't want it to slow us down. Luke makes it back to the Dark Village, and we're going to turn the quest item. Well done, apprentice. Well done indeed. I now grant you the rank of Dark Jedi. Congratulations. Luke is now a Dark Jedi. His HP is the same, so I'm not sure really what changed. We're now ready for our next trial. Your next trial is to find a man who calls himself Karan Dakar. Oh no. We already killed this guy. I hope we still have the quest item. And we do have Karan Dakar's signet ring back at base, so Luke's gonna have to go retrieve that. Before we leave, one of the Dark Jedi vendors has a Dark Force crystal that I guess we'll buy. That plus 10 perception bonus is so good for our Dark Jedi Master and our new droid, who are both using sniper rifles. That is gonna cost us 20k, but we have a lot of crap around base that we'll try to bring back here to reclaim some of our money. Back at base, I'm doing a little redesigning, and I haven't actually really gone over our full base layout layout. Essentially, the reason why we based here is because there's iron nodes and there is a copper node, and there's not much copper in this zone, so our base location choices were limited. I've not put our gate in the water. As you can see, it's completely dry, but we do have a maze going in the water, which slows down raiders because they have to swim through it. And then they get over to our main area where we got some buildings set up with turrets on top of them. And those are about to become obsolete because we can now build watchtowers, which are extremely good for sniping from. And we're going to face it this way because you can get much closer to the walls if you build it like this. Whereas if you turn it facing the wall, it seems like you can't get it as close. That's actually pretty good right there. Luke delivers the quest item and says he killed Karan, and the Dark Jedi are now our allies. So you have, well done, Luke Groundcrawler. I will now address you as Dark Jedi Knights. He then says to talk to him again when we're ready for our final trial, and we say we are ready. Then listen closely. To become a master, you must face a master or something similar. There is a man named Izas Dusni hiding in an obsidian cave in the northern Ashlands. Find him and kill him and his underlings. If you can prove to me that you're able to defeat him, I will grant you the rank of master. This will be our final trial. Before we go do that, we're going to dump off all these extra lightsabers that we've been stocking up at base, and the merchant actually can't afford to buy all of them. We're going to buy some more of the merchant's food and then sell the last lightsaber. And then Luke is now going to head from the Dark Village, which is now purple because I guess we're allied with them, and he's now going to meet up with our main party, who is already in the Ashlands. They're in the southern Ashlands though, and the quest's in the north. While we're in the southern zone, we clear out this tower, which has a bunch of these Korsarg Exile faction units in it, and then we loot the tower for like 6 AI cores total. There was a bunch in different crates. An absorbing force crystal, the one that makes you a bit tankier but has a really small chance to absorb damage. Another absorbing force crystal, and another one which is lower quality, shoddy grade, and another shoddy grade one. Those are really good for our base melee fighters because we just want them to be tankier. And then also in that area is what maybe the final boss. The guy is just nuts. I did a few attempts on him and could not figure out a strategy to beat him. Sniper rifles are dealing like 10 damage to him, and he's hitting us for like 100 to 200 and pretty much one-shotting people. Maybe he just has crazy amounts of toughness or something. I don't know. The Sith just wants nothing to do with this. He's like, I'm about to jump in the freaking Sarlacc pit. But either way, our entire group is now going to head to the north and help Luke do his quest. And we did manage to capture a couple people. A Korsarg Sith neophyte, which was one of his guards, and then a Jedi Master was fighting outside, and we were able to just 4v1 him. I'm not sure if this guy will join or not. I think we have to kill the Jedi leader for a Jedi Master to join us. So we make it to the cave, and I thought we could just YOLO everyone in here and take these dudes out and be on our merry way, but that was just not the case. If I had to guess, the droids are just pumping damage, so we're gonna have to use a bit of tact and take out the droids first. There's, I think, 4 droids, and I'm guessing their guns are really strong. There's one pretty close to the entrance, so we're gonna try to snipe at him, take him out if we can. And I think we missed our shot. A lot of their dudes just chase us outside, and we're going to take care of a lot of their melee guys. From the entrance, Luke actually has an angle on the main boss. Is this Dusni, who I don't think is going to be the main problem because he just has a sword. I think we just shot him and missed twice. Some more of their melee guys are chasing us outside, so we're just going to take care of them. None of these guys are really putting up much of a fight at all. I think we could probably just charge in now because there's less distractions, and we could just go straight for the droids. Near the entrance is actually one droid, and we one-shot it. It did hit our Night Hunter Dark Troop for 23 in its leg, which is not that much. We're continuing to aggro more of these guys outside. There we go. We got one of the droids. Very nice. So there's like 3 left, I think. Here's another one. He's dealing 11 damage. Like, I just don't know why this was so hard before. I don't know what the heck that thing is in the distance. A cleanser unit. Okay, we'll be fighting that momentarily. I want to definitely finish this quest first. I'm seeing one more droid near the entrance, and there's another one over here. And I think that's it for the droids. So, yeah. Let's just have everyone charge. And we got the boss over here. Is Dusni. He's just owned. Like, I have no idea why it was so hard the first time. But yeah, we'll grab his legendary Sith sword. Has 80% armor pen. So maybe this guy was just wailing on us while we were killing his underlings, and he was able to cut through our armor with 4.6 cutting damage and 4.2 blunt on top of the 80% armor pen and 15 attack and defense bonus and 100% extra damage against humans. Holy. So it's doubling damage against us. I wonder if the Jedi race is considered human. Either way, the guy is knocked out right now, but if we take his ring, I'm almost certain it's going to kill him. And yeah, it does kill him. So he unfortunately will not be joining us. He does have a Masterwork Spec Ops Gator, which only has 60% head coverage. It's not even worth taking, I think. This chest piece armor only has 35% coverage to the arms. That's terrible. His boots are actually pretty good though. Definitely worth yoinking. And then his skirt is pretty bad. And then his shirt sucks. We also knocked out one of his bodyguard droids, and we'll try to recruit that. And here's the weapon it was using. Not the greatest damage, so I'm pretty sure it was the dude that was killing us. And I almost forgot to loot these giant crystals. Obsidian Force Crystal gives quite a bit of perception. Not as many melee stats as the other crystals, but we'll take those for people that are using sniper rifles or that are sitting on turrets. Looks like that's actually maybe it. And the shards disappeared, I guess. Never mind, I came back and the place repopulated itself. And I think the same crystal that had the forced crystal on it repopulated itself with another one. I don't know. Either way, we're going to get everyone the heck out of the zone. And they're going to head back to the Dark Village to turn the quest in. Luke is much faster than our main group, so he's going to go on a bit of a scouting mission, which ends up being successful. I was looking for one of these Jedi Ash Knights. We never recruited one of these. On a Jedi Ash Master, we should try to get this guy. They're all fighting this cleanser unit. And what I'm thinking is we have the blaster out, and then we're going to focus the Jedi Ash Master. Luke does not have ranged on. Oopsies. Run away and stealth if you can. It's going to be a long battle, I think. When the cleanser unit goes down, we do hit the guy. 19 damage is not much. This battle is going to take a minute. Luke pulls out his sniper rifle and gets a 117 damage shot on the Jedi Master's arm, and then another 81 damage shot on his leg. Sniper is definitely the way to go for this guy. We shoot at the guy all night, and finally in the morning we get him low enough to the point where he's limping around. The Sith shows up as well, and we're gonna have him try out that legendary sword, which does 800 damage to the Jedi Ash Knight. I wonder if he could just run in this group of Jedi and just cleave. Oh crap, he got hit. Luke got hit as well. He could definitely get whacked down pretty good if he's missing his attacks. And yeah, it doesn't cleave, I think. I'm pretty sure it's a single target. Or maybe there's a cleave attack with it. Oh, 700 damage to that guy. And 800 to that guy. We definitely don't want to kill the Jedi Master. We're going to have Luke keep sniping at him. And the Sith is going to just keep wrecking these guys. Their lightsabers kind of suck, I think. We can loot the lightsabers and sell them, which will be nice. We can put them all in the Jedi Master and a Jedi Knight that hopefully we don't kill. We're hitting them all in bad places though. Although we did cripple this Jedi Knight. We cut off one leg of two of the Jedi Knights, so we tried a little experiment and cut off both the legs to one of them. So we yoink him, and then we yoink the Jedi Ash Master once Luke finally takes him down. And really quickly before we leave this place, in case you guys are wondering, the loot on the cleanser units, it's massive. 20 iron plates and copper alloy plates, 20 electrical components, 3 skeleton eyes, 6 droid muscles, 4 droid brains, and an AI core. We're only going to yoink the AI core. Yeah, Luke's just gonna run. Meanwhile, back at base, we have a massive Jedi raid. So massive, in fact, that these guys actually glitched through our wall. I hope we have enough to deal with this, because we have to take out these Jedi. And then on the other side of the wall, we have, well, nothing actually. Just a bunch of knocked out people. But then back here, we got some more raiders. Well, then here's the other Jedi. And as you can see, they're just swimming. I think I'm gonna have to change the base around so nothing's in the water, because it seems like the water kind of messes stuff up. And I think the main problem is you can't attack while you're swimming. Near the Dark Village, we're setting up some prisoner cages to try to recruit people. And the first person we talk to, the Jedi Ash Master, does join us. Her strength, dex, and dodge are really low, so we'll have to train those up. But aside from that, she's gonna be a really good melee fighter as she's very tanky. The 84 toughness is also really nice. We try to talk to the Sith Neophyte, but he's actually got 102 strength, so he does not respect us, meaning that we have to lower his strength by beating him down or shooting him in the butt as he runs away. Another one in his head. That actually did not even really hurt him that bad. After lowering his strength, he now joins us, and he has a ton because he's a Wookiee. Again, his dex and dodge are pretty low, but he is very tanky, so that's not that big of a deal. The Jedi Ash Knight, like the Master, does have low strength dex, and dodge. And we did cut off 2 of his legs, and the plan is to give him 2 really high tier scout legs, and we're going to have him go just kind of explore and basically just help us plan our next move. And then finally in that zone, we found this rogue SK4 brawler droid, which is a melee droid, but he does have 50 turrets and precision shooting. He's just lacking in perception, which he could level up over time while sitting on turrets. We're going to sell the extra lightsabers we picked up back at the Jedi village, plus a couple of the Rancor claws. Let's buy some food and sell a dagger. That's most of his cash. Luke then turns the quest item into Hanyu Kaishan. Incredible. Most incredible indeed. The time has come for you to no longer address me as your master. You are now Master Luke, Groundcrawler of the Dark Jedi. Now then, you'll need the proper attire. Go talk to Master Trey in his hut. And the guy sells Jedi Master cloaks. Crap quality though. They're all shoddy grade. The Master pants are really cool as they increase athletics. We'll grab the high grade ones. Master Trey also has blueprints for Jedi Master lightsabers. He also has blueprints for Jedi Master apparel, regular Jedi apparel, and scrap tent. And that stuff was pretty pricey, but we'll just sell him the stagger and 2 of the spine rancor horns, plus some other random crap, and we're back up to 89k credits. There's one thing, though it will be your greatest challenge yet. Even as a master, have you heard of the legend of Krosag, the Dark Exile? We have heard of him. This was the beastly boss guy that kicked our butts earlier. He's alive, though the world would be a better place if he weren't. Allow me to accompany you from now on, Master Luke, Groundcrawler. And so yeah, the dude joins us, and he's insanely good with lightsabers, and his melee stats are all pretty high, and he's got a decent sized HP pool. The guy comes with a high grade Jedi Master cloak, hood, which is not that good, pants, which are pretty bad, and the leggings are bad, and his lightsaber really sucks. Okay, well I know Hanyu Kaishan really wants to go down to the southeast and finish that guy off, but I don't think we can yet, so we're just gonna head back home. It's almost day 75, and difficulty is about to max out. We have quite a bit of cash now, so we send Luke back to Mongrel to hire Ahsoka Tano. You can see she has really good stats with decent HP, and almost 100 lightsabers, and she does have her own Ahsoka's Green Blade lightsaber, which I guess is its own model. It doesn't seem to compare to the Widow's lightsaber, for example, which is a unique model, so we'll probably just end up giving her that one because she's not good with double blade lightsabers. Despite Ahsoka's model showing her wearing clothing, she is in fact naked, so Luke's gonna carry her home. While that's going on, we sent our main scouting party to the east to check out this really cool city that's got kind of a hidden entrance. So you go up this way, and then you gotta cut back this way. And you can see at the top here, there is in fact a town, I guess this is. In the center of town is this guy Gray, who says we can make allies with the rebellion, but make enemies with the Empire. But we're already at war with the Empire, so we might as well just do this. You can see the consequences are we lose 100 relation with the CIA separatists, which we already were, I think, full negative 100. I think we were also hostile with the slave traders anyways, and now the Galactic Republic is our ally. We're now on day 75, so I've maxed out the difficulty, and I have altered the base a bit by destroying a few walls that were confusing raiders. You can see here they are still a bit confused, and they are slowly funneling towards our base, but they are moving very slow. And if we go over here, we can see what they're doing. So for some reason, the Jedi Ash Master is out here, who does have the shopkeeper goods bag, and they currently are 89% encumbered. We want them to move it all. You can see they are moving very slow. This raid, by the way, is the Dust Bandits, which is like one of the weakest factions, so they're not even really able to hurt her too much. We also have the Jedi Ash Knight out here, who, like the Jedi Ash Master, is trying to train up strength, and we can actually see what their strength is. 34 on that person, 37 on the Jedi Ash Master. I think they started around like 25. I did put some stuff on the Jedi Ash Master as well. Some pretty heavy stuff like this Scythe Blade, which we stole from some dude. And then this Acid Sword we actually stole from the Hive Queen. I don't even talk about it though, because it didn't really seem worth using. Near our front gate that you can see is open. We have turrets set up on these lookout tower platforms. I was going to build watchtowers back here, but I didn't want to spend the materials because I decided I actually want to move our base. My main complaint right now is I can't have this gate closed or Raider AI just messes up too bad. And I think when they're in the water, if they're thinking about trying to breach our gate, because they can't attack from the water, they just give up and turn around or something. I don't know. Before leaving to set up our new base, there's a few techs I want to finish researching, like Hybrid Stone Mine, which mines stone and immediately turns it into building materials. And then this one, which costs with a few AI cores automates that mine, meaning it might fully run by itself, and then fully automatic ore drill for automated mining. Research for these 3 techs should finish in about a day. There's a few other techs I didn't go over, like we researched the one below strong defensive walls for I think it was 3 engineering research or 2, which allows us to build upgraded walls. And if we get 4 more engineering research, we can upgrade those walls to tier 4. And then believe it or not, we actually spent all our AI cores on other research, so we cannot yet get double barrel E-web turret and advanced E-web turret, which rapid fires. We need 5 more AI cores for those techs. Our base is getting raided from the Jedi faction. It's a bunch of dark Jedis, which is kind of weird. You'd think they'd just be regular Jedis, and there's a lot of them, so I closed our main gate, and as you can see, the raiders are just not moving. Normally raiders are supposed to charge your gate, beat on it, and try to break their way in, but you can see these guys are just kind of glitched here. But then when I open the gates, pretty much immediately they're going to start charging it. At least I think that's the case. Yeah, they're going to charge. But then when it's closed again, then they're just not going to charge. I'm going to keep the gate closed just because over here we can see there's a crazy amount of Jedi. There's a bunch swimming as well, I think. Well, a lot of these guys swimming are actually raiders from a previous raid, but you can see like over here, it's just a massive group of Jedi. They all have a pretty good amount of HP, so if we let them just charge into our base, that our main group here, then we might get wiped. And so yeah, for now we will be cheesing this and hopefully picking up some new units, because there's a Dark Jedi Hopeful, a Dark Jedi Neophyte, which we do have a Sith Neophyte, I think it is, but we still can get a Dark Jedi Neophyte, and then a Dark Jedi Challenger. These guys won't be here forever though, so it would be good if we can get just this group to maybe breach our walls. So we will open up the gates. When they get close, just close it so only a few of them get in. And we'll have our melee group, which is still pretty formidable. Try to focus these guys down. These guys are more just distractions because they're wearing this crab armor that actually kind of sucks as far as it lowers your ability to dodge, combat speed, dexterity, and melee attack bonus, so it's harder to hit. But it is really tanky. The same goes for like the leggings. I think they're pretty similar. Lower combat speed. The helmet just lowers perception. It's really tanky. I'm not sure about the shirt. The Ahsoka Tano actually is really not a good spot right now. She's got so much HP, so she's not really in danger, but yeah, you can see these guys are a bit too much for us to handle right now with this group. And actually letting these guys in was the right play because they're trying to retreat now. After a while, raiders will just get bored and flee. And so it was good that we trapped them in here so we can capture the Neophyte and the Hopeful and their war leader. This Challenger guy over here. We've been hitting him with our turrets, but they just have not been penetrating his armor. It did seem like the Challengers were much tankier than normal units, and come to find out that is the case because they have these pure hatred force crystals. This thing basically makes the chest, legs, and stomach immune to range damage. So far I haven't seen any range weapons be able to deal 291 points of damage. It also does give a ton of blunt and cut resist to those body parts, and for the other body parts there is a 50% chance that it will block the head and a 10% chance that it will block the arms. The skill bonuses on this thing are pretty nuts as well. It doubles dodge, which may be why that final boss guy had like 230 dodge, and that would also explain why our ranged weapons were not piercing him. It also gives some other nice skill bonuses like a whopping 25 to melee defense, and yeah, his other gear is just not that good. Dark Jedi Master Hood's pretty trash. Master Cloak is okay. It's not great quality though. Jedi Master Boots are also okay. They're not crazy good though. And then the Jedi Master Pants do increase athletics, which is nice. And then his lightsaber sucks. Nothing special. Come to find out, we ended up capturing 2 of those Challengers, and this one's Hatred Force Crystal's lesser grade. It's only high grade, so it gives like 70 or less range damage resist, which is still a ton, and a bit less blunt and cut resist, but everything else is the same. We go on to recruit the guy, and surprisingly, he's not their best unit, as he's got low strength, dex, and dodge. If we look at the Neophyte, who also joins us, he does have slightly lower HP, as technically he's a lower tier unit, but not much lower because he's a Wookiee, which as you can see is boosting his strength by quite a bit. The odd thing is he has way more dexterity, which Wookiees aren't really known for, and dexterity is pretty important because it affects block and attack speed. You can see the Challenger with his 32 dex mainly blocks much slower. One of the Hopefuls is also a Wookiee. This guy's stats really suck, but he'll be another good tank once we train him up. On day 79, we finally pick up and move base locations, and we leave behind all of our combat guys to help set up the new base, except for Luke. He's going to go on quite the journey across the map to Raptor Island, home of the Mega Raptor. I think because of our increased difficulty, there's now 3 of them here, and we just need to kill 1 for a Mega Raptor horn. We need this in order to possibly recruit Bugmaster to the south. At least that's the way it was in a different mod, and I'm assuming this mod's going to be the same. So we can see on the bottom floor, there's a ton of spiders, and on the second floor, there's some mutant spiders, which are much faster than these skin spiders. Skin spiders move at 12, mutant spiders move at 20, and then we got the Bugmaster moving at a whopping 28. Luke stealthed up to the top floor, where he's been actually shooting at the Bugmaster a few times using this exact maneuver that I'm about to show you. We're going to shoot at him by attacking, and we're going to hit this stupid skin spider that walks in front, which is tragic because we're going to have to run away now and stealth if we can. We just spam it and go back down, or we're not actually, because all these stupid skin spiders are going to aggro up top now because we hit one of the skin spiders. I think that's how it works. Let's try again. And we get the shot off instantly that time. With these spiders that aggro to the top, we can have Luke aim at them and reload his gun. And when it gets to almost full, then we'll have him stop. And there's a ton of spiders in the way, but we might just be able to run past them. They don't actually know where he is. They just know where his last position was. So they're going to go check that. And he actually misses that shot. It's like point blank range. What? After a few more attempts, Luke gets whacked on the leg, and that's it. I give up. We're going to send in the bug whacker Hanyu Kaishan with our best dual bladed lightsaber, as he has 98 in double bladed lightsabers. For the most part, he should just mow through these spiders. I am seeing him get hit for like 2 damage, but I think he's going to be healing that up before he even gets hit again. Maybe gets hit for 1 and 2 again, but overall you can see when he does attack, he is doing massive AoE with that double blader. Hanyu is able to clear out all these skin spiders pretty easily. As for the mutant, he is also just owning the thing as well by the looks of it. Yeah, it does go down. I did want to have Luke try to solo the boss, but he's already healed back up after, I think it's been a full day since we were beating on him, and we shot him like 5 times. Hit him a bit, but yeah, the damage didn't really stick. He actually gets hit there. Have Luke come up here and help out. We just one-shot him, or we just knocked him down somehow. Hit him in the chest pretty good. He's hitting Hanyu Kaishan really good though. Wow, Hanyu is actually getting owned here. Oh jeez, this is not looking good for Hanyu. I'm not sure if the fact that we're fighting so many enemies is detracting from Hanyu Kaishan's ability to fight the Bugmaster. It seems like the Bugmaster's just hitting every attack on him. Oops, and he actually gets a hit on Luke there. His HP is not looking that great, although he did his job, so even if he does potentially go down, which it looks like that might be the case, his leg is busted up. Luke is just on passive mode. Oopsies. So I get a bit careless, and the Bugmaster gets a few hits off on Luke's arm, damaging it to the point where he can no longer use sniper rifles till it heals. And that injury is so bad that it might take a day or possibly even 2. So I just end up save scumming, and we're going to be a lot more cautious when fighting this guy. We've taken out most of the spiders, which was the hard part. And as long as I play it safe and make sure to pause before each attack, then we'll be fine. If I don't pause before each attack, sometimes I can misclick and right click near the boss, and then he'll get a swing off.
It was at this moment that he knew.
If you don't know, in Kenshi, the way you attack is you right click and then you select attack target, and the way you move is also right click. So it's very easy to misclick and just charge the boss, especially when you're moving at like 50 miles per hour like Luke is. One thing also to note about this guy is he has an insane amount of stats. I did not realize he had such high attack and defense, dex, and toughness as well. And yeah, the dude finally goes down. We can check out his equipment. The samurai armor gives really high range damage resist. His helmet also does give quite a bit of stats and a bunch of range damage resist again. Lowers dodge though. And he's got a pretty good shirt. It's not really a shirt as much as it's like actually a full body wrap, as it does cover the legs and the arms as well. His leg plates again give quite a bit of protection, as do his boots. And then here's the weapon he was using. Quite a beastly sword. He does also come with the blueprint, freelancer hunter gear, which we already know. It's nothing special. But now for the question on everyone's mind, will the Bugmaster join us? The creature raises eyebrows in surprise eyes and notices a possession within your grasp and lets out a deep, guttural, throaty sound. He gestures towards the Megaraptor horn you carry. Luke unzips his pants. I mean, we're gonna take out the horn and show it to him. Squawk. The man jumps up excitedly, then falls to his knees as if realizing something. Reach out your hand, palm up or palm down. Okay, I'm gonna Google that. I actually could not find the answer. Palm up seems like you're kind of offering something, so I would assume that's the one, and it's not. After failing the dialogue, I waited a few hours, and we can talk to him again. Palm down this time. The man raises his head underneath your palm, giving a soft hum, almost as if approving. Raise the Bugmaster to his feet. You're one of us now, pal. And indeed he is, and holy moly, look at those stats. 195 in lightsabers. Jeez. Give this man our best one-handed lightsaber, or just give him our best double-bladed, and he can just AoE down everything. His stats are nuts. He's definitely going to be getting all of Hanyu Kaishan's gear, because if we look at Hanyu Kaishan's stats, yeah, they're pretty good, but they're not Bugmaster status. One cool thing I found about the lore in this guy is he's apparently preparing to fight Kathun, which I think is kind of like the final boss, and in the Star Wars mod, Kathun is turned into that really beastly guy who completely kicked our butts earlier. In the Bugmaster's chest is a map that draws the location to Kathun, I guess, and this guy has an interesting theory about what the teeth in the treasure chest are used for. The reason why Bugmaster can't speak is he's an ancient race and he can clone others using the teeth in his chest, or he's just a really buff dude that lost his mind and even the spiders are scared of him. That is also a pretty plausible theory. And then this guy says he can't be that ancient as he has a grudge on this guy. He gives other reasons. There's a lot of, speculation. If you guys have any more info on that, let me know in the comment section. With the Bugmaster by our side, seemingly nothing could stop us. We wipe out everything in the southwest corner of the map, starting with this arachnid faction boss. We do one-shot the guy with a hit to the stomach, and to be fair, his armor does not give much stomach protection, so I'm guessing it just bypassed it. The boss has the coolest backpack I've seen visually, which not only is perfectly themed for the Bugmaster, it actually does increase his combat speed. We grab him and continue wiping out everything in our path, and we don't really find anything worth noting until we get to this Berserker village. The Mad Berserker only has 125 HP, and I really don't want to kill him in case he might join us, so we're going to use one of their fragment axes against him. We're doing pretty good damage to his chest. Bugmaster swings so quick, and we knocked him very nice. Now for their main boss, which we could actually use the lightsaber for. This guy Ghost. Let's make sure we don't do any permanent damage. Holy moly, we actually just chopped off his leg. I want to try to recruit both these guys, so we're going to leave Ghost on the ground. I don't think he'll be crawling anywhere. To make sure he wouldn't crawl anywhere, I thought we'd try to knock him out, but Bugmaster annihilates his left arm. He then busts up his other leg pretty bad, and our cleanup crew we send in to retrieve him ends up knocking off his other leg. While this wasn't intended, we do have 2 specialist scout legs to increase his movement speed drastically, and this KLR series arm not only has 20 more HP than his old arm, but it also increases dex and strength. These boosts are really nice because Ghost has insane stats, and with these Masterwork Jedi pants, he's now our fastest runner. Sorry, Luke. After wiping the Berserker village, Bugmaster heads south where there's a few slave towns, and there he's gonna invent a new sport, Bugmaster Bowling. Those droids were guarding this very important member of the CIS Separatist, and because she has diplomatic status, if we capture her, they're possibly going to start sending us CIS Separatist raids. This girl's pretty rich, as we get a ton of cash from her safes, and she has quite a bit more on her as well. Her master robe is master work, but unlike the master cloak, it does not cover the legs, but it does give more protection and increased dex, so that might be a good trade-off. And then her leggings are masterwork as well, and I think they're better than the Bugmaster master pants. Her boots are also masterwork and they're very tanky, and her shirt is potentially the best shirt we've seen. Gives a ton of protection, but it does lower stats. The Bugmaster's gives a bit less, but covers all of his body parts and increases his stats, so I think we'll keep his chest on him. She also comes with a masterwork one-handed lightsaber and a dark force crystal. Someone could definitely use that. East of that town, we get to do some more Bugmaster bowling.
Nice spare!
those droids were poorly guarding a diplomat of the Traitor Guild faction, so we yoink her and bring her back to our dungeons, and they might also start sending us raids. Just like the previous Town's Lord, she has a ton of cash in her safes. In the downstairs safe, there's something money can't buy: engineering research. We spent about 4 days setting up the base, and we're now getting raided from, I think, all 3 sides. I made a design choice to put gates on 2 of these entrances that we didn't have to. I could have just had our main gate and forced raiders to funnel into that, but I thought it'd be cool to kind of up the raiders' intelligence and assume that they're smart enough to attack our base from behind, and it is currently being attacked from behind by a group of slavers who aren't too terrifying. Some of them probably have guns, but for the most part, a couple Jedi can handle that. Over on this side, we do have another group of slavers, and they're not actually at our gates yet. They may be attacking from this side, which, as you can see, like the other gate I just showed, is not well defended at all. We haven't got the materials to set up turrets yet, so we're gonna hold off on that. And then over here, we got a really cool setup with these snail houses that are built into the mountain. And if we go down a floor, we can see that they are in fact built into the mountain, and that's thanks to a really cool mod that just completely alters the way you can set up your base. One thing I don't like about these snail houses though is if we go down to the bottom floor and we look up, you can see through the mountain, which looks pretty stupid. And I think you're going to have that problem anytime you build a structure with multiple floors in the mountain. If the structure just had 1 floor, then I think you'd be fine. We got the same thing going on with this snail house. There's no one inside, so I can't check out what's inside, but I assure you it is basically the same. Over here is our main gate, and we just finally set up these 2 watchtowers in this really cool position that is not possible without the mod. There's no way you can build watchtowers on a slope like that normally. And again, we are lagging on materials, so we don't have any turrets set up yet. I did put our Night Hunter Dark Trooper on top of this tower, but he's getting sniped out really hard by this next raid, which is a CIS Separatist raid. We're actually going to send him down to the lower floor, and we'll turn on character names so we can see what's going on here. This raid is not going to be... Whoa, Ahsoka just got taken out already. She is losing blood really quick. Holy... Someone's going to have to definitely bandage her. Normally I have a lot of people with bandages. Okay, this guy has a bandage. You're going to have to first aid her while we're going to open up the door. And everyone else is going to charge out. Hopefully be able to deal with this. These guys have really powerful guns for the most part. When a guy just walked by that was really powerful, actually drop this thing with the Jedi Master and just let him charge. You guys should be okay there. Was it this guy that was really strong? No, I don't think so. I found the guy we were looking for. It's this Elite Hunter Master, and the dude has a really high stats, but only 100 HP, so Blood Widow might one-shot him with her super Sith sword. She's got that legendary sword that just wrecks people. She is... Okay, we're getting raided by another faction. Let's not worry about that right now. That actually might help us here. When we end up decapitating the guy, he is dead. But we can check out his Noble Samurai armor, which, as you can see, is very tanky. Has some nice range damage resist, some overall decent coverage. Does lower melee stats a bit. And the helmet also does lower dodge by quite a bit, but does give a lot of range damage resist. And then we got the boots that are also noble gear, as are the leg plates, and they're all really tanky. And the guy also had this chain shirt that's pretty tanky, and a plank, which is quite beastly in vanilla. This is my first time seeing noble samurai gear, and I think it's from this mod Legendary of Kenshi. It adds new NPCs, armor, and weapons into the game that we've not seen yet in this run until now. And the reason we're now seeing this is I just activated the mod Legendary of Kenshi by accident. And it's kind of a funny story. So basically I was using the dev mode to dismantle our old base, which, by the way, I highly recommend because you can use the delete key to remove something rather than having to click dismantle for each thing. It just makes the whole process a lot quicker. As I'm doing that, I get the worst crash I've gotten so far. This error resets my entire mod list. I now have to go through each mod one by one to make sure I'm not adding any incompatible mods that's going to break the game. And I did succeed with that. And for the most part, I got the mod list the exact same. I did add a couple extras on accident, with Legendary of Kenshi being one of them. I wasn't using it originally because I assumed it would be incompatible with Kathun, but after playing forward with it quite a while, it seems like it's meshing really well with the Star Wars mod. Oh, and quick shout out to this mod, Native Stylize. It's what's making my game look kind of like Borderlands, and I'm loving it. I also forgot about this mod, Forgotten Buildings, which again I assumed was not going to be compatible, but it seems to be working pretty well. As far as balance, it does add tier tier 5 walls and gates for, I think it was 5 engineering research, but they aren't that much tankier than the tier 4 ones, so I think it's pretty balanced. Anyway, so back to the raid. We're gonna send Blood Widow back up to the main gate area where there's a bunch of raiders that are just flooding through from whatever raid this is, the Chiss Rogues. They're trying to loot our food, which is fine. I'm not gonna worry about that. We have this really terrifying CIS separatist raid that we have to deal with. The Blood Widow is actually just annihilated. I don't know what gun is hitting her, but she's just getting shreked super hard. And she got knocked out, holy moly. So these guys' guns are really terrifying. We're just gonna try to have everyone charge. And our reconfigured commando droid is dead. That's unfortunate. As you can see, my defense tactic leaves quite a bit to be desired, and we get almost completely wiped here. Thankfully, I did have a save before the battle, and we're gonna fight this a little bit differently. We had everyone hide till most of their dudes grouped up, and they're now beating on our gate, which we will now open. I believe Blood Widow is currently our best fighter at base, so not only does she have the Sith sword, I gave her over a Jedi Master cloak, which isn't that tanky, but it does increase her attack speed, and the Pure Hatred Force crystals, so she's quite a bit tankier on certain body parts, but some are really exposed. And okay, we're gonna have her come in here and start cleaving, hopefully. And she actually did not cleave that too well, or okay, I think she cleaved that really well, and she cleaved those guys down, and holy moly, that was most of her dudes. So I did a couple attempts on this, controlling everyone, and when you try to control too many people and you have them all attack the same target, they end up not really attacking. But if you just control like one person, I think that is definitely a way to go. So people are getting by, which is not ideal. But let's have Blood Widow take this guy out, actually. This is their war leader guy that we decapitated earlier. And I do kind of feel bad safe scumming this, but I had some problems bringing all the materials over to the base, and when I say problems, we lost like 3 full Garu bags worth of loot because my game crashed while I was heading over here. And a lot of the times when you're carrying something not inside your base and you exit out of the game, that thing will disappear, and I think it always occurs if that thing is dead. And because you can fit so much in Garu backpacks, I was using those to transport goods. Anyways, so again, we do end up one-shotting the Samurai Elite guy, so we don't get a chance to recruit him. We get some really good sniper rifle guns from this raid. A lot of them have around 150 meter range, which is really high, and their damage is more than capable of penetrating our armor, as you saw. Like the Elite Hunter Master we unfortunately killed earlier, the Legendary of Kenshi mod now spawns these Samurai Elites to patrol around our base area. Normally they only have 100 HP, but we managed to find a Trandoshan which gets an extra 40 on all of his body parts. After recruiting the guy, our turret gunner still thinks he's hostile, so he shoots his leg off. This allows us to give him a scout leg, and he's gonna make for a really quick transporter. We've got a few people full-time dedicated to transporting diplomats that the Bugmaster captures back to our jail. Oh, and this just in, we have some more Bugmaster bowling in the slave markets. We yoink another Trader Guild diplomat, and we get quite a fat stack of cats, plus another engineering research. And to the east a bit, we have the extremely rich Kathun city, home of the cowardly Lord Shiro. He tries to flee, but Bugmaster runs him down, and we capture yet another CIS separatist diplomat. This guy was doing really well for himself, as he's got a whopping 4 engineering research in his safes. We do a ton more exploration and capture diplomats from a few more factions. We got this dude from World's End from the Machinist faction, Vexa from the Federation of Kathun, and Ark, the leader of the Mongrels. While exploring the rest of the map, we find Tengu's vaults, home of various riches, or so I thought. It's guarded by the Vault Warden, whose stats are decent for a melee fighter, as he's got a good HP pool. After beating him down, he chooses to join us for only 15k credits, which I thought was funny, because his Master two-handed lightsaber is valued at 600k. He's also got this special Warden's Baton, which does very high damage against robots and animals, but we're not really having problems with killing those types. And the guy's really good at all sciences for some reason. I guess while guarding the vault, he's got a lot of free time to study. The vault is actually a supermax prison with around 5 dudes that have similar stats to this guy, and after breaking out the ones that we didn't accidentally kill in that earlier skirmish, only one of them ends up joining us, and unfortunately I think he's one of the worst out of the group. The other prisoner we escaped with explains how he was locked away in that vault for 15 years, and he asked about Tengu, the leader of the United Cities in Vanilla Kenshi. I'm pretty sure Tengu's long gone in Kathun, but the prisoner leaves on a mission to find him anyways. Good luck to him. Where you'd normally find Tengu in vanilla, we instead find Bounty Hunter Jango Fett, Chancellor Palpatine, I guess the Palpatine we captured earlier as part of a mod, and Grand Admiral Thrawn, another diplomat of the CIS Separatist. Bugmaster is going to kidnap all of them while sleeping because they only have 100 HP. If we fought them during the day, we'd almost certainly kill them. Jango Fett will join us for a cool 150k cats, and at this point we really have nothing to spend our money on, so we pay him off. He has the highest range weapons out of anyone I've seen so far, but with only 100 HP on his body parts, I'm not sure if he's worth the 150k. His armor for the most part's a bit better than Mandalorian stuff. It mainly just gives more range damage resist, and the helmet is slightly worse surprisingly. His bodysuit's really cool though. Not only does it protect everything with a little bit of armor, it does increase his range stats. I've never seen a bodysuit do that before. And then he's got his jetpack, which unfortunately does not have any special attributes. I think it'd be cool if it was a bit bigger and like it increased athletics by 2 times or something, so you just zoom around with the jetpack. We yoink both the diplomats, Palpatine and the Grand Admiral, and we bring them back to our prison cells. Back at our base we have this going on. I think because of the sheer amount of units in the area, the raiders kind of bug out and only a few of them end up attacking us. I do end up giving the legendary Sith sword to Ghost, who's our best base defender now.
Double kill.
Later that night, we get a message saying Igor's assault against our outpost has ended, despite the fact that Igor's assault seemingly never really began, like we didn't get raided by that many people. And Igor himself was not a part of that raid. He just decides to retreat, and while retreating, he refuses to fight the Bugmaster, who severs his left arm. After knocking him out, Bugmaster tries to recruit him, but he's seemingly speaking gibberish. Rearranged, it's still kind of gibberish, but I was thinking maybe he wanted to talk to the Blood Widow. She gets new dialogue and begins by stroking his face. She then smiles at him and gets right down to business by taking out the knife. She cuts her palm and drinks her own blood, and this really gets Igor going, and he's now willing to fight for us. Igor's stats are pretty crazy. I'd say he's definitely our second best fighter behind Bugmaster, and we can boost his dex by another 25% if we give him a cybernetic arm. We could also boost his strength if we give him a different type of arm, but I think dex is more important in Kathun. Igor will only obey Blood Widow, and I cannot control his actions. If I want him to fight, I'll have to send Blood Widow into battle. As Bugmaster's out exploring, we get this message that the Kaga challenge has ended, and similar to the Igor raid, these raiders left before even really beginning their attack, so we had to run them down. The Kaga challenge was that raid we experienced earlier that sent us these Jedi Knight challengers, and in total there's 3 of them that we're able to kill for 3 more high-grade pure hatred force crystals. Our best one's on Bugmaster, and we'll give one to Igor and Ghost, but then we still have 1 or 2 left over, and I'm not sure who gets those. Near Mongrel, which as you can see is really far from our base, Bugmaster runs into this elite hunter assault that's heading for our base, and this is the same raid that wiped us earlier. This time I try to get Bugmaster to knock out our leaders so we could recruit him. Oh, okay, yeah, that's not happening. Heck no, what? Seeing that raid come from so far away, it does now make sense as to why we're not getting raided much, or the raiders are giving up before attacking. They have to go quite a ways to get to us, and even if they do make it, there's a bunch of patrols around our base, which are not only dangerous, but there's a lot of them, so it's causing lag. To help the raiders get to our base easier, and to help the game performance, I'm going to reduce the number of squads in the world, and the size of those squads. This should not affect raid size, which is this setting, raid frequency, which is this setting, and it should not affect attacks from enemies that happen to be passing by. We're almost done with the world exploration. We just have 2 more things to do before we bunker up in the base and add in true chaos raids. The first is the Jedi hideaway to the northeast. Now the question is, can the Bugmaster solo this place against this many Jedi Knights? And that's all I'm seeing here actually. I'm seeing a Jedi Padawan as well. We got Jedi Knight Clone Wars of the Galactic Republic, which is actually not hostile. Most of these guys are hostile, but then like this guy, you can see my cursor goes green when I select him because he's not. We got this dude, Jedi Knight Clone Wars, and I can actually talk to this guy. See what he has to say. We'll ask him if he wants to team up. He says not yet. Okay. Oh, and would you look at that? We have Yoda with a crapload of health. So I guess the Yoda in the tavern was a part of a mod. And this guy Tharbark is a Wookiee as well. I wonder if we could maybe recruit the Wookiee and Yoda. There might be some other named guys among the group. I don't know where Yoda went, by the way. Okay, I found Yoda again. He was bandaging someone up, and we just knocked him out. Can we pick him up? Yeah, we got Yoda. He's going to bring the Wookiee back home and dump him off in our prisoner cages. We'll see if he joins. And then he's going to head down to try to solo the final boss, which I think he's capable of doing. We have been training up mainly just his toughness, which is actually really easy to train. You get a ton of XP from getting shot at, even if the armor blocks all the damage. And he's now up to 50% damage resist, which I think is the cap. But then you can see he's got a crazy amount of unarmed damage. I wonder if he's doing more damage with his fist now than the lightsaber. His fist can't do AoE though, I don't think. Then he gets some other bonuses, and I think mainly it's just really hard to stagger him. If we put the Wookiee in the cage, we can only ask him to become a Jedi, and he actually will allow us to become a Jedi, and we'll become a hostile with the Dark Jedi, but we're obviously not going to do that. We're just going to kill the rest of the Jedi. There's a Master Junlon here, who's a quest guy, and yeah, Ghost is able to tear him up pretty good with that double blader. And we'll have Ghost just finish off the rest of these Jedi, be done with it. I'm not going to try to recruit any of them. And that's because the game is almost over. Bugmaster actually has a 23% chance to stealth KO the final boss, and we get close and the guy sees us. Okay, so he's going to do his dialogue. We're just going to take out the legendary Sith sword, and yeah, as I thought, we one-shot him. Take out his leg, and crap, he wakes up really fast before we can kidnap him. We'll use a really crappy lightsaber to try to not kill him. And there we go. We're actually doing very little damage to him. This is going to take a while. And there we go. We knocked him out for almost 10,000 seconds. Let's see his loot. So we got the Sith Holocron. I believe we can show this to someone and they'll join us. And he's also got a Masterwork Pure Hatred Force Crystal. So that's why our ranged weapons were not piercing him. Give that over to Bugmaster. Give him the specialist one, which is a little bit worse, but it's still pretty good. On his Crosag's robe, blocks all range damage pretty much to his arms, chest, and 50% to his stomach. His boots aren't really anything special. His pants are really bad actually, and then his shirt really isn't anything special. His lightsaber is worth 6 million. Whoa, why though, I wonder? It's not even that great, right? Doesn't even compare to the legendary Sith sword, and that thing's only worth 80k. Maybe it's a collector's item, I don't know. Okay, well that's pretty much game over. We conquered the final boss, and this was done in perfect timing as we are now on day 100. We'll now Bugmaster carry the dude back home, and we'll see if he'll join us. And we'll install the True Chaos Raids mod and re-add the regular Chaos Raids mod. I removed that mod because I was getting so much lag as I was having people run around the map and explore, and if I would go back to the base and try to defend against that, the game would just end up crashing a lot of the time. So yeah, for the last like 10 or 15 days we've not had the Chaos Raids mod installed, but we'll now enable that and True Chaos Raids, and we'll see if we can defend against those. We bring the final boss guy back to our prison cages, and he is willing to talk to us, but unfortunately the dialogue does not lead to him actually joining us. We can also talk to Yoda, who apparently is a she, and Yoda says it will make for a good Jedi, and we want him to teach us. If we do that, then the Dark Jedi are hostile with us, but we don't want that. The main thing though is Yoda will in fact not join us, which is a bummer. And alrighty, so we're at the end and we can finally put our base to the test. So one thing I did hint at the start of the game was we can farm unlimited AI cores with our base location, and that's because these AT-AT patrols spawn right outside of our walls, and the way we're farming them is we have people on that watchtower over there, and then this watchtower up here, and I do believe we have the range to be able to snipe at these guys. On top of this tower we have the Dark Trooper with this proton rifle masterwork that we found just randomly traveling around, and then this hyper rifle, and they both have about 160 meter range. Let's see if they do have the range to be able to hit those AT-ATs. They're hitting something for 150. Oh yeah, they do have the range. That's so sick. Just a couple more shots to the chest. I think that thing is going to go down. And there we go. We knocked it out. That is absolutely sick. We were shooting from that watchtower over there, and now we're going to see if these guys have the range as well. We got Jango Fett up here with this Jango Fett armor, which actually is not as good as some other armor that we can make him. We can't actually see if he's hitting with the UI disabled. So let's re-enable that. Okay, well that one smartly ran away. Let's attack this one. Oh, and yeah, we definitely have the range. That is so sick. So yeah, we're basically able to farm these things. And what I was going to do with the AI cores is make a special rule where we can put an AI core in any droids that we capture. Like we could capture more of these Night Hunter Dark Troopers. And as long as we have 1 or 2 or maybe even 4 AI cores in their inventory, we can recruit more of them. And I was going to make kind of a Night Hunter Dark Trooper army. I thought that'd be really cool to use in base defense, or we could use them on offense as well. But we have pretty much cleared out every threat on on the map, so we don't really have a need to do that. We also have needed AI cores to research tech, and we can check out our research bench. You can see we have plenty of AI cores left over. And as for the tech, did we research everything? So we researched everything up to core, and then we got some blueprints that we don't care too much about. This is just visual. Swamper storage is just some extra storage, which we can just research. And then basic bridges is for helping us cross gaps in rivers, which we don't have any rivers in our base. We don't care about that. As for crafting, we can make cyber implants for hivers that are all part of a mod, and we don't really have any hivers as far as I know. We might have like a couple, but I didn't feel like it was necessary to research these. They all do cost an AI core, which we could do. We do have plenty of AI cores. It's just I don't really care to research these techs. On the defense tab, we can research the ability to dispose of corpses, which we don't really care about. Corpses I do think despawn after a while, and even if they are sitting around our base, there's no negatives. It's not like RimWorld where you get negative moodlets for walking past corpses. And then another bridge tech, which we don't care about. There's 2 defensive tech trees. We researched everything in this one if there was stuff here. And then as far as electrics, we don't really care about a lot of this stuff. Like we can research a different fuel source with oil drilling, but then I don't know, like light post 2 actually would be cool. Let's just research that. And a more energy efficient light post, I mean, sure, we don't really care too much about it. We're not having power problems, so I didn't really care about these techs. Exterior, we researched all that. Farming, we researched everything that pretty much matters here. The rest of these techs, I believe, are only for making stuff that you can sell, but we're not having problems with money, so we don't care about that. In the industry, we researched everything except for automated extractor tech 3, and this just allows us to drill iron and copper quicker, but we're not having problems with that right now. And then smithing, so we got a clutter tech here, which is just so we can place stuff around the base for visual. Doesn't actually do anything. And some hiver stuff. Arachne armor is trash. Obese armor I think is trash as well. Padded armor, bone armor. I mean, all this armor stuff's pretty bad. We've been getting plenty of bandages and med kits, so we haven't even researched that. Chitin armor, splints. We don't really care about splints. That's pretty much it for that. And then there's actually no techs on the Star Wars tree, and I don't think there ever was any. And as for the training tech, we got assassin training, lock picking, and stuff we just don't care about. We're way past needing this stuff. As far as crafting, the main thing we've been crafting around base is these power cells that we use for our sniper rifles. We have multiple droids working on multiple ammunition benches. We got one here, and another ammunition bench over here. And that's the main thing we've been crafting. Then to the right, over in our other storm house, our red saber has been crafting away, doing armor crafting, which he does get a racial bonus for. And right now he's actually making some shirts for our Trandoshans. This is the only shirt that they can wear, I believe, and I just found out about it. But for the most part, he's been making Jedi robe dark, which because of his skill, he's able to make at a high quality on average now. And these robes are extremely good for our range users. They give plus 20 perception. There's nothing that really even comes close to this for a chest piece. And there's the fact that it gives a good amount of protection to the legs as well, which is kind of nuts. We made plenty of bandage wraps so we can stop crafting these. You can see they give 5% extra attack damage mainly, which isn't much. I thought they'd actually give protection too, but nah. We'll now show off the base design, which as you can see has a little bit of a vulnerability. I believe we have a little friendly fire going on, and our Cat Theory assassin shoots our Cat Theory carabiner through the wall with friendly fire, and that happened somewhere around here. Earlier our gate was open and I think someone got through, and then they were trying to shoot at the guy that got through, because a lot of time in Kenshi people will try to shoot through walls, much like that phase member that's pretty popular right now.
Look here, as his aim snaps onto an enemy player through the wall. As he starts to zoom in on the left arch, his aim snaps to the upper left and hits an enemy he can't even see.
But yeah, so essentially with our inner wall design, we have range users completely lining the wall, and this design should be perfect, assuming raiders are going to be coming from our main gates or this gate over here. There's no possibility really of friendly fire, which is the main issue that you're going to run into in Kenshi. Is there's just tons of friendly fire, and especially with these snipers, people with low HP are going to be easily one-shotting each other. Now that being said, we do currently have a raid coming in from this gate, and it is a massive raid. So one thing that I just found out is you have to actually increase the global squad multiplier, I think it is, and that does actually affect raid size, because I was playing for a day and raids were super small, but as you can see, this one is freaking massive, and it's got that 4 times multiplier on the raid size. Oh, and one thing really quick that I did forget to mention is we demolished all of our outer walls, so that raiders are going to be smarter and they're actually going to be able to make it into our base. One thing I don't understand is why our units keep getting bugged. Like you can see the hunter and the dark trooper are not aiming for people that are heading through our gate, which is kind of lame. I have to actually manually control each one of them, and I'm not really sure why. And okay, I think I figured out why our range users were not shooting. So if our gate is closed, they will not shoot at all. But if we open our gate, we can see they pretty much instantly will aggro on something. What sucks about that is the whole point of our gate is to protect these guys. If we leave it open, then people are going to breach the gate and then they're going to, you know, get to our range dudes. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on here. Our gate is open, as you can see. And there we go. They're actually shooting. Took a while though. Like as soon as they came through our gates, our dude should have just shot at them. Saw something for 4K over there. It must have been the legendary Sith sword hitting someone. Yeah, the issue may have just been because it's nighttime. Kind of have my doubts on it. We'll see in the morning on our next raid though. And never mind, at pretty much the same time that's going on, we have a CIS separatist elite raid with the big guns coming in. Like, yeah, these guys are not shooting at them. It's so lame. I feel like I had such a cool setup here and these guys are just being so stupid. And our Kathun thug is dead, which is really bad because I think that's one of our farmers. We only have 2 people that are capable of farming. So yeah, that might be pretty much it for me, to be honest. It's like a huge part of our supply chain gone, which is obviously a big oversight. Like our farming room over here should not be here. It should be behind our walls back here. Although, again, I don't feel like we can close this gate, so I don't know, dude. I'm trying to, you know, work with the game here, but it's not really giving me a whole lot to work with. Like there's just stupid AI and yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll just be waiting for Kenshi 2 and hopefully they'll have all these issues fixed. I mean, it's going to be a completely new platform, so you know, one would assume all these issues are going to be ironed out. But yeah, we did deal with that CIS separatist raid. Our melee guys took them out, but as you saw, it was not without cost. One final thing I want to show off before we do end the video is our jail. So I built a gate here because people kept coming into our jail and setting people free. And if we go in a bit, we can see all the diplomats we've jailed. We've got Vexa from the Federation of Kathun, Ark from the Mongrels, Grand Admiral Dawn from the CIS Separatist, Traders Guild Slave Mistress, Lady Marin from the CI Separatist, Traders Guild Slave Market Master, Lord Shiro, Chancellor Palpatine, and Lady Sonda from the CI Separatist. In a perfect world, the more diplomats we capture, the more it would piss off enemy factions that they'd send us stronger and stronger raids, which is what I was hoping was going to be the case, but it didn't seem like that was too much the case. And us holding their diplomats may have been sending us raids. I didn't really test it. In our jail, we got Palpatine, who's pretty much useless. His combat stats are good, but since he only has 100 HP, he could get one-shotted. So he's just kind of role-playing here as our warden dude. And then he pretty much full-time is able to watch television on these computer terminals. And he's able to, you know, play games and stuff, of course. And then when he gets bored of that, he can come over to this giant arcade machine that we built just for Palpatine and our vault warden. And he is, of course, doing science because that's what he loves doing. Remember, he had 100 science, and he's also really good at robotics, engineer, and medical. And he actually can do farming and cooking, so I'd probably just send him over to be our cook or a farmer if I want to keep playing. Then we got a double bed where they can take turns sleeping, or sometimes they share the bed if they get really bored and I don't watch what goes on in our jail. I just assume they're doing a good job of guarding the prisoners is all I care about. But yeah, so that's going to be kind of an anticlimactic ending. I had a lot of plans for the end game, but the main problem I have with Kenshi is raids don't scale, and you saw I tried to implement a scaling system and I tried to make it interesting, but ultimately the game is kind of flawed in that sense. And I hope in Kenshi 2 they do introduce scaling raids that get stronger over time. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. If you did get this far and you like what you saw, then drop a like on the video. Let me know what you'd like to see next, what games interest you, or maybe what games in the past I've played that you'd like to see me bring back on the channel. I do have a few things in mind, but I'm definitely open to any feedback. And with that, I want to thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next one.